Come
She
here.
spends most of her time singing other people's songs now.
Yeah,
She's got the Kelly Clarkson show and she does versions.
Did she
of other
write it? Did
people's
she ever write much?
I'm not really sure. I don't know much about her, but I know she's got a very successful TV show now. But mostly she sings other people's stuff. If you know what I mean.
That's all right too, isn't it? Yeah, how are you this morning?
Fine, feeling good.
Come here, I need your advice on something.
Go ahead, yeah.
Come here, I got this message through Instagram yesterday
Okay.
from the Irish Sun newspaper, and I says,
Really?
right, is this right? Is this somebody taking a hand at me or whatever? And he goes, hi Lee, it's Harry here from the Irish Sun. I recently started a series looking back at old forgotten Irish TV shows.
Oh.
And he says, I believe you took part in Cabin Fever and RTE. Would love to know if you would be interested in talking to me about your
But were we
experiences
not
on the show.
supposed to do that as a podcast?
Well, we can now. We'll do it
Yeah,
before
but-
him.
Okay.
And he says, naturally, we can currently talk about your work on the radio and stuff.
So you can plug what you're doing now.
Yeah, of course. But so I said to him I would, and I says, well, sure, phone me on Friday after 3 o'clock and have the chat. But I'm just wondering, do you know how much I should tell him?
Well,
what happened on Cabin Fever?
No, you do our podcast about it, and then you can say whatever you like to him.
So when are we going to do this podcast? What will I say to him?
Whenever you're ready, man, I'm ready to go.
Let's do it.
Yeah, warts and all. It's looking for warts
But
and all.
he's looking for the war. See, I did sign a disclosure that I couldn't talk about it.
Oh, well, I think
That's well under the water
Oh,
now, isn't it?
Definitely.
So should I tell him all this stuff that really happened?
After you tell us,
Right, when are we going to do it then? Because what do we say?
I can hook up with you any evening, dude.
Right, okay. Well, sure, I could put him off, right? We'll talk to him on Friday, get all the bones off, and say, look, so we'll do that next week.
We did actually genuinely say we were going to do that.
But I didn't think it would be that interesting. But anyway, well, sure, we'll discuss.
All right, we'll do that. And yeah, okay, we'll do that. It'll be a bit of fun.
I'll be a bit of crack.
Do it over a couple of episodes.
And maybe one might be enough.
No.
One
right.
might be enough. Right, hey,
All right,
have a good show.
Pencil me in, Gooch.
You're there, Dad.
All right, thanks very much indeed. It is the 9 till noon show and it is 9 o'clock. Let's get a news update. Good morning, Donald Kavanagh.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning. The Dáil's been told that Public School Clahonili in Falcarra is in dire need of emergency works, but ultimately it requires a new school building. Deputy Pearse Doherty catalogued a series of issues at the school, saying it's a testament to the professionalism of the teaching staff that the school manages to provide an excellent education in very bad conditions. Junior Minister Hildegard Naughton confirmed emergency works applications are being considered, but said the application for a new building will be judged against population projections and demographics. Deputy Doherty told the Dáil that the situation at the school is grave.
When you look at the overall works that have to be carried out, there's a new roof to be done. There's serious issues in terms of the prefabs. There's issues in terms of fire safety. This school needs a new build. The roof is leaking in multiple areas, mould and damp are spreading, drainage is failing in the bathrooms. They're moving around buckets to try and make sure that classrooms are available to teach, and dehumidifiers moving around from classroom to classroom. And despite all of this, the staff continue to do outstanding work, providing first-class education in conditions that are completely substandard.
Gardaí are investigating an alleged public order incident at a premises on the Letterkenny Road in Lifford last night. Gardaí told Highland Radio News they received the report at approximately 9:15, but when members attended the scene, the persons involved in the incident were not present. The Garda investigation is, they say, ongoing. It's understood more than 20 homes have been evacuated in Derry following reports of 2 suspicious devices. A security alert is continuing with police at the scene in the Glenabbey Close, Beara Vale area of the city. The community centre in Gallia has been opened for families who had to leave their homes in the early hours. Local shops are also being impacted. A helpline opens this morning for anyone impacted by what are described as serious and significant failures in safeguarding in the Presbyterian Church in Ireland. An internal investigation identified situations between 2009 and 2022 where it failed to respond when people wanted help, and instances where offenders returned to worship but were inadequately monitored. The church has apologised, and the moderator, Reverend Dr. Trevor Gribben, has announced he's stepping down.
The Church's first and greatest concern about this is for the people who have suffered harm and those who have been put at risk. The Presbyterian Church in Ireland profoundly regrets this, is deeply grieved, and will offer all possible support to those affected.
And motorists are being advised Windy Hall Road in Letterkenny will be closed from 10 o'clock this morning, with closures to continue until Wednesday of next week to allow for essential roadworks. In an update, Donegal County Council has now confirmed that closures will take place today and tomorrow, and again on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. The road will be open to traffic in the evenings and overnight, and also over the weekend. While the works are taking place, local access will be maintained where possible. And the weather forecast, mainly cloudy today with occasional brighter periods. Some rain or drizzle in the morning, but it'll become drier for the rest of the day with just some isolated showers. Top temperatures 7 to 10 degrees Celsius with moderate to fresh northeasterly winds developing. And that's Highland Radio News. We're back with local news again at 10 o'clock. Check all the day's news on highlandradio.com. But for now, from the news team, good morning.
The Black Tag event is now on at Curry's. Get the Samsung 55-inch OLED AI Smart TV for only $999. Save €400. Or save €50 on the Dyson V11 Extra Cordless Vacuum Cleaner, now $429.99. Our lowest ever price. Curry's, for the tech you love at prices you'll adore.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest. The 9 to Noon Show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello, good morning. You're very welcome along to the 9 till Noon Show here in Highland Radio. For this Thursday, it's the 13th of November and it's just about to turn 4 minutes past 9. How are you all this morning? I do hope you're very well indeed. And we look forward to keeping you informed and entertained over the next 3 hours here in the 9 till Noon Show, and of course throughout the day here on your very own local radio station, Highland Radio. Coming up, we're going to be tackling some of the big stories, the big issues of the day, be it local, national or even beyond, and we want you involved in that conversation throughout. The lines are open for you right now, 086 60 25,000. That's the WhatsApp or text number. Don't forget you can send your WhatsApp voice notes to that number as well if that suits you. If you want to give us a call, it's 07491 25,000 or email from anywhere in the world, comments at highlandradio.com, and wherever you are as well, you can hop on line and watch the live stream. You can watch all of the show every single day here on Highland Radio. Just go to our YouTube channel, Highland Radio Ireland. You can watch on your mobile devices, but also on your smart TV or your Fire Stick if that suits you, if you're at home or working in the home, or across Facebook or the X platform as well. The local papers today all, to some extent, focus on Traffic in and out of and around Letterkenny. Active travel plans will destroy rural Ireland. That's the headline under the story written by John McAteer. Perhaps that's what it was designed for, to stop people using cars and leaving them to find other means of transport, preferably far from all centres of population. Active travel is a contradiction in terms because it's leading to gridlock, and these projects are only beginning. Here in rural Ireland, we have to depend entirely on the family car, and there is not a snowball's chance in hell of that changing in the next 50 years. It sounds like a contradiction in terms. However, active travel plans are designed to reduce traffic levels, create cleaner air, minimise parking and leave motorists to curse their luck as they are destined to spend much of the rest of their lives stuck in traffic gridlock. It's already happening, and the reality facing towns like Letterkenny is footfall will be hammered and parking will become a lottery. Ramelton is another destination where the town's active travel plans will see parking severely restricted. Shamefully, the town never had a public car park, and according to the active plan project, it never will. And attempts by the community to communicate with officials are shut down because decisions are already made and they are beyond the council's pay scale. And on, he writes, and a lot of people might be agreeing, you know, these public consultation processes are a bit of a nonsense, are they? The Donegal News this morning, leave enough time to beat the traffic. That's coming from LUH. Letterkenny University Hospital is urging patients to leave adequate time to make it to their appointments given the relentless traffic congestion in the town. Sorry to keep on about this, but when is enough? Like, at what point are people going to say we've made a mistake here? And the Windy Hall Road is another road that's going to be closed over the next 2 or 3 days, adding further to the issues. And as John McAteer writes, we're only seeing really the start of these active travel works. Like, at what point do you step back and go, right, I voted for this, or I endorsed this, or I thought this was a good idea. But now we've got the hospital telling people to leave extra time to make appointments. The hospital confirmed to the Donegal News that it has measures in place to ensure patients they are transporting to the hospital via taxi hire arrive in time for appointments. While General Manager Sean Murphy was yesterday unavailable for an interview on the matter, we asked the HSE if traffic issues in Letterkenny are affecting patients attending appointments and whether patients are running late or simply not showing up for their appointments due to travel difficulties because of the scale of traffic clogging. In a statement, the HSE spokesperson said Letterkenny University Hospital does ask patients to ensure that they allow sufficient time to make it to their appointments. The Derry News this morning, second councillor facing T-shirt probe. I think police, unless there's something incredibly bad on the T-shirt, police must have time in their hands, do they? Or maybe I'm missing the significance of this. A secondary councillor is facing a PSNI probe into the T-shirt he wore at July's full Derry City and Strabane District Council meeting. People Before Profit councillor Sean Harkin received a letter from PSNI's Public Order Inquiry team on Thursday, October 30, via his solicitor. Members of the PSNI delivered a similar letter to the home of Councillor Gary Donnelly the previous week. Councillor Harkin's letter stated that the PSNI was investigating his T-shirt under the Terrorism Act 2000. It added the grounds for police's suspicion of this offence arises from your client being identified wearing a Palestine Action T-shirt during the meeting, which was also live streamed via YouTube. So you can imagine sitting in a council meeting in Derry with a Palestinian Action T-shirt, which last year wouldn't have been illegal to wear because the British government decided to make Palestine Action a prescribed organisation, and now you're getting letters and attention from the police. It's with everything else that's going on, I think those resources may be better spent elsewhere. Right, we're about to hear the details of the fourth housing plan in 10 years, so pretty much as long as I've been sitting in this chair. This is our fourth action plan on housing, and in the previous ones there were either no targets or targets were missed. What will change in this one? I hope it's a success, by the way. I should be very clear on that. Whomever is in government, whoever's in power, if they can make a difference to the housing crisis in this country, I'll applaud them. I hope so. But we do have issues in terms of land availability, infrastructure. It's piddled down for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I think parts of Milford are still under a hosepipe ban. I was at a function with Airgrid last Thursday and listening to Michael Dugan from the ESB outlining how much juggling and planning has to go in by the ESB to get everybody connected. Like, we always talk about the water infrastructure and where there are deficits there, but I'm not saying there's a power infrastructure issue, but the ESB are constantly, locally, by the way, I'm talking about, are constantly have to rearrange stuff, put in different things here and there to get people connected. You just don't plug in. It's not quite as simple as that. So between that and the availability of workers to actually go out on the ground and to deliver houses, but also to the willingness of developers and to actually progress, because I think what we did see is that they've got the government by the ghoulies, and they held off on the 40 or 50,000 planning permissions until such time as the government introduced into the budget an incentive for them to continue. So really, I believe we're at the will of those guys and girls as well. So as I say, if the government can overcome this stuff, the lack of water, the lack of sewers, and also the power infrastructure, and also getting people to build houses, it would be amazing. But as I say, we've had 4 housing plans. In fairness to Darragh O'Brien's housing plan, it did reach or exceed planning housing numbers in 2021, I believe. But other than that, there's been either no goal to reach or no reaching it, so to speak. But anyway, the government, its long-awaited housing plan will be unveiled today against a backdrop of a fall in new house commencements and opposition predictions that the new strategy will not be radical enough to tackle the crisis, with the coalition pledging to deliver more than 300,000 homes by 2030. Minister for Housing James Brown has advised aspiring homeowners, hang in there. Now, I hope it's the case. What's 5 into 300 is 60, isn't it? So that's 60,000. So do you not get the feeling like in November of 2026, we'll hear they're at 35,000, but they hope to ramp it up and catch up in the next year. And then that year will be 45,000. And next thing you know, 50, 30, next thing you know, you're 30, 40,000 houses behind. But I wish them well. I hope it's a success. We'll see more of that a little later on. But I just wonder if they can overcome some of the issues I outlined, but I wish them all the best in trying to do so. The Epstein files, a whole tranche of the files were released in America yesterday, and it doesn't make for very good reading for Donald Trump, to be honest with you. Jeffrey Epstein wrote in a 2009 email to a journalist that Donald Trump knew about the girls, according to documents made public yesterday about what he knew, and whether it pertained to the sex offender's crimes is unclear. The White House, however, was quick to accuse Democrats of selectively leaking the emails to smear the presidents. Democrats on the House Oversight Committee released 3 emails referencing Mr. Trump, including one that Epstein wrote in 2011, in which he told confidant Ghislaine Maxwell that Mr. Trump had spent hours at Epstein's house with a sex trafficking victim. The disclosure seemed designed to raise new questions about Mr. Trump's friendship with Epstein and about what knowledge he may have had regarding what prosecutors call a year-long effort by Epstein to exploit underage girls. So Ghislaine Maxwell, let us not forget, was sent to prison for child trafficking. The US administration says there was no child trafficking, so what's he doing or what's she doing in prison if that's not the case? But also, there was a whole tranche of documents then released by Republicans as well on the same committee. But Donald Trump insists that he was just an acquaintance of Epstein, although you saw what he wrote in his 50th birthday card, and that he knew nothing but from Epstein's own mouth, effectively, or from his own fingertips. He knew far more than he's saying. Whether you believe that or not is completely up to you. The Irish Daily Mail reports that smoking rates have barely fallen in Ireland because people are swapping cigarettes for vapes. The combined number of people who smoke or use e-cigarettes has dropped by less than 2%, or it's dropped by less 2 percentage points there's a couple of words missing from this article. It's dropped by less than 2 percentage points in the past 10 years. In 2015, 24.6% of the population smoked or vape, while in 2025, 22.4% did, which is quite remarkable. So 1 in 4 of us, 1 in 4, which is huge, I think, either smoke or vape. Jennifer Murnane O'Connor, Junior Public Health Minister, said at the launch of the Department of Health's Healthy Ireland survey, smoking risks have remained broadly unchanged since 2019. Smoking rates, that is, sorry. We've made good progress in tackling smoking rates over the last 10 years, and this can be seen in recent surveys. But I think in the previous years, you would have been getting people transitioning from smoking to vaping. I think what's happening now, though, is that there's more people vaping that never smoked before. So 1 in 4 in the nation either smokes or vapes. The Irish Farmers Journal: entitlements could be scrapped under radical proposed changes in the next Common Agricultural Policy, a senior Department of Agriculture official has admitted. The department's Assistant General Secretary, Paul Savage, has confirmed that entitlements could possibly be replaced after 2027 by a per hectare payment under proposals being pushed by the European Commission. On to the red top tabloids now, and the mother of Harvey Morrison Sherratt has welcomed a government pledge to hold a public inquiry into how children with scoliosis and spina bifida have been dealt with at Children's Health Ireland. And Gillian Sherratt told the paper hopefully no children will ever be failed in the same manner that Harvey was. 9-year-old Harvey from Dublin died in July this year after he waited years for scoliosis surgery. His parents, Gillian and Stephen Morrison, told how in the time he waited for surgery, the curve in his spine went from 75 degrees to 130 degrees. By the time Harvey was operated on last December, the curve had reached the point where it could not be fully corrected. In another shocking development, it emerged at the weekend. The child had been taken off the CHI waiting list for urgent scoliosis surgery without his parents' knowledge or consent. And grieving parents Stephen and Gillian have now vowed to fight for better healthcare for children. So without their knowledge, he was taken off that list and put down as being receiving palliative care, which if I was a parent, and I know those parents would be flabbergasted and disgusted by that. The Irish Daily Mirror, the government has not stifled debate on immigration, the Taoiseach has said. Micheál Martin said the government had sought to facilitate an informed debate and said it was not good enough that Irish citizens have been treated with aggression due to their ethnicity. He refused to be drawn on whether migration numbers in Ireland were too high, as stated by Taoiseach Simon Harris previously. However, Mr Martin said population growth has been the most significant factor in pressure on infrastructure and services over the last 20 to 30 years. And this is when people talked about, Ireland being full. Now, some people say it with a great deal of menace. Others, it's the easiest way to articulate. Obviously, you wouldn't be talking about how many people there are per hectare. You'd be talking about the ability to house people or service people through health, dentistry, etc. But he said, this is Micheál Martin, he said the majority of those seeking asylum were coming to Ireland for economic reasons. Sorry, that was the Taoiseach, wasn't it? Not necessarily for the reasons that are outlined in the various legislation governing asylum. And finally, what makes you smile? There are 40 everyday feel-good things. I can't go through all of them. I'll go through the top 10 of stuff that makes you smile. A random act of kindness. I think that's very impactful. A baby's smile. It can make you smile. That's number 2. A clear night sky full of stars. Sometimes you just, though, have to tilt your head back and look up. A dog excitingly wagging its tail. I could give that one a miss, especially if it's someone else's dog coming at me. Waves gently lapping at the shore. I find the sea very therapeutic. A smile from a stranger. Yeah. A rainbow after rain. Get nothing from a rainbow after rain, maybe because we see so much of them. An older couple walking hand in hand, which is always quite nice. A toddler's giggle fit. Yeah, I love that. And cherry blossom in full bloom. Not too worried about that. And a sleepy pet stretching. No, not too bothered about that either. Okay, but there's a lot of stuff in there that can make your day. What makes your day? 086 60 25,000 is the WhatsApp and text number, or alternatively, of course, give us a call on 074 91 25,000.
Newspapers are kindly supplied by Cosgrove Centra, Mountaintop Letterkenny. Now with the new look Mountaintop Diner.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Seasonal loans now available for Christmas. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
The future of driving is here. Hyundai are built for what's next, so you can step into tomorrow, today. With innovations in smart tech and style, Hyundai continues as a leader, selling the most plug-in and electric cars in Ireland. The future is today. The future is Hyundai. Step into the future of driving.
Your local dealer is Divers Hyundai, Canal Road, Letterkenny. Call 91 22 600.
TFI Local Link operates evening and weekend services throughout rural Ireland to help you stay connected 7 days a week. We know life doesn't just happen 9 to 5, so if you're commuting, shopping, visiting family, or going out in the evenings or on the weekends, let TFI Local Link take you there. Visit transportforireland.ie.
Without people like you, our efforts would fall flat. But when people like you give blood, someone in need gets a lifeline. Maybe someone just like you. We never get to choose when to need blood, but we can choose when to give. Find out how to become a donor at giveblood.ie. We count on you.
Here at Braden's House to Home Interiors, Moville and Bridgend, we stock recliner and fabric suites, dining tables and chairs, beds and mattresses, curtains and rugs, and don't forget our large flooring department stocking carpet, vinyl and laminate flooring. We can't be beaten on price or quality and give a weekly delivery service to Donegal, Derry and Strabane, not to be matched. So call on today to Braden's House to Home Interiors, Moville or Bridgend for all your home furnishing needs.
Nutria's Super Beef Gold ATP is now on promotion at your local Homeland store. Buy 10 bags, get one free, or get €15 off per tonne in bulk. Nutria's Super Beef Gold ATP delivers frame and thrive in all ages of cattle. Contact your local Homeland store or farm commercial specialist today. Visit nutrias.ie for full product details.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is?
The time now is 9:22. So we've been contacted over the last few days and weeks, in fact, by frustrated residents in the Trenta area. It's an ongoing issue with flooding. They have said that it creates problems in terms of accessing places of worship, getting to and from school adds an awful lot of time on journeys, etc., etc. So Councillor Kieran Brogan, Mayor of Letterkenny Milford Municipal District, joins us now to discuss this. I imagine you, Kieran, like most of the other councillors, would be acutely aware of the flooding concerns in the Trent area.
That's where I live, Greg, in Trent, and I suppose it's an issue that has been ongoing for the last number of years, and we have been highlighted the last number of years, and we've managed to, I suppose, get funds over the last number of years through the climate adaptation fund. Probably between that and the road improvement works in the Trent area, we've seen almost €500,000 spent in different parts of Trent, but this one part of the road, where the road's subsiding, really the road's sinking below the levels of the land on each side of it, and it's a huge problem. It's caused a huge amount of inconvenience for the residents of the area, but indeed for many people that's going to their school on a daily basis, and going to church or going to the local play school there, and it's caused a lot of grief for parents there as well. And the challenge for the council has been to try and keep the road open. The options were limited because there was nowhere for the water to go, and right around the flow, and Trent has been an issue over the last number of years because of the huge amounts of rainfall that we've seen. We have been in the area with the engineers, and they were leaving again, the team of them, and they've been speaking to the landowners to try and get some level of work done. But I suppose the ground's so wet at the minute, and hopefully if we can manage to get the support of my elected members, which I'm confident we will, that we can apply again for additional funds, climate adaptation grant, probably 250,000 will be needed, and hopefully if we get that funding, we'll get the road. The road has to be risen, to try and explain it in layman's terms to you, Greg, and your listeners. But again, it's causing huge inconvenience for people in the area, and it's an ongoing problem that won't be simply solved because there's a huge volume of traffic using that road now, and I suppose there's a lot of heavier vehicles, and particularly the lorries and stuff. That's probably causing it to sink more than it should. So it's a challenge for us. But I can assure you that the council team are doing everything they possibly can to try and overcome this hurdle that we have. And it's a hurdle in that area that we're going to have going forward because of the huge volume of traffic in the area and the weight of a lot of the vehicles that's using the road too.
Do you? Is there any short-term relief that could be done through drainage work, piping, cleaning of drains, or even, I don't know if there were particular water source rediverting it or anything along those lines?
It's my understanding that they hope to try and do something like that as soon as they possibly can. I can't speak for any of the landers running in the area, but I think the council has been engaging with them. And I think they're ongoing, and everybody is acutely aware of the challenges because you can only imagine that people have to drive through this water, and it is damaging to brakes and cars, and it can cause a lot of damage to engine cars and stuff too. So again, the conversations that I've been having over the last number of weeks was trying to persuade the council that not to be closing the road, that it needs immediate action, and it needs it as soon as possibly can. So
in terms of the long-term fix, which you say in basic terms is rising the road. It's impossible to timeline these things, I do understand, but are you hopeful with a good tailwind that it could be sooner rather than later, or what's your sense, just to give local residents who you haven't spoken to directly a sense of the situation?
Yeah, well, I'm confident. I mean, we have achieved further on down the road a huge amount of funding over the last number of years. In 23 and 24, I think we had 255,000 one year, and then we had 105, and then we had 170 and 70. So there was a lot of money spent further down the road, because the same thing was happening, Greg, and this is further up near the church, between the church and the crossroads. So I'd be confident if we can get the priority agreed with the elected members, the climate adaptation funding, and that funding will be forthcoming from government for it. But the short term, we're trying, I suppose, keep the road open to allow traffic to come and go. And again, it'd be wrong of me to say we have a magic wand here in this one, because we haven't. The amount of rain that has fallen has caused huge problems in that area.
All right, just finally, more generally, just in case there's been any advance, obviously you'd be aware, we've spoken to you about the situation of traffic around Letterkenny. Things are moving forward, it seems. More gridlock again this morning. Windy Hall's due to close for a few days. Some people believe that'll exacerbate the problem. We've got Letterkenny University Hospital asking people to allow extra time. the ambulance service having to engage on an ongoing basis to try and ensure there's proper access for ambulances, but also that frustration remains out there. And we also heard from the Letterkenny Chamber, they want engagement or review. I mean, it wasn't quite clear. They certainly didn't go as far as to say, as far as I was aware, a suspension of these works. Is there any moves ongoing or anything happening to offer any relief to motorists who are probably still stuck in traffic listening to us this morning?
No, there's a huge amount of frustration, Greg. To be honest, I've never seen or felt or heard as much frustration as I'm getting at the moment about the traffic congestion that we have in around Letterkenny. And it's going to take that coordinated approach from the top down of Donegal County Council, from the Chief Executive, the Director of Roads, and all the team coming together. And look, I think I've been listening carefully to what the Chief of the Ambulance Service and the 4-lane, and I've listened to
Unfortunately, we just lost you there, Kieran, at that point. I'll just see if that line returns. Can you hear me okay? No, it's failed, and that you can tell from that it ain't coming back. We'll chase that up down the line. In relation to Trenta flooding, hi Greg, where are our councillors, or what are they going to do about the constant flooding between Trenta Crossroads and Trenta Church? It's a disgrace. Parents have to do detours to get children to school. Listen, I'm well aware of it. We're trying to push it on, move it along for residents in that area. What we do know is that engineers were out on site this week and last evening, which means it's being looked at. Where they're at now, just to paraphrase some of what Kieran Brogan is saying, they are going to look at ways to try and let the water away. But the fundamental problem is because of the traffic and because of the road, it has sunk below a certain level whereby you can't drain water away from it because it's at the level or under the level of the water, and you understand how that stuff works. There is efforts to secure €250,000 in funding to fix it. But hopefully, listen, I know those road engineers people, they're very intuitive, and hopefully they can come up with a solution to relieve that flooding in the medium or short term. A caller says, I recently drove through Trent. It was at night. I didn't see the road was flooded as it was so dark and raining. I damaged the front of my car. Some flood warning signs for people not from the area would be very helpful. The River Lennon has trees and growth that's not being cleared, and it is restricting the flow of water. What are the OPW doing about it, says another listener. Okay, there is an arm of the council that is actively looking at these areas about water management, about the role of the council, the role of landowners, and it's a big department. It's all kind of tied in with climate change. It's not that stuff isn't being looked at, about the management of our waterways and drains and all that type of stuff. I believe that work is ongoing. It's just a case of identifying where there have been successes and sort of when measures will be introduced or plans will be introduced wherever they are needed.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
What difference can changing your home heating make? Well, if you switch from oil to Keller gas, it's a bigger difference than you think. Because every new Keller customer gets a blend of our renewable gas, bio-LPG. Works like regular gas but with lower emissions. So now every cosy night in and instant hot shower is that bit cleaner, greener and more sustainable. Switch today and you'll also get a free boiler. Terms and conditions apply. Learn more at kellergas.ie. Keller, the energy that connects us.
At Maple, we know our customers are the heart of our stores. So this month, we're saying thank you. Spend €15 or more and you'll be entered to win a thank you from Maple hamper, packed with treats to enjoy. T's and C's apply. And while you're here, why not pre-order your Christmas hampers? The perfect way to make the season extra special. Shop local at Maple Express Carrigart, Fulcara or Castlefin, or at your local Maple store. Fresh, local, convenient. Follow your local Maple store on Facebook for more.
It's here, the new Opel Frontera. Join Manor Motors for the Frontera test drive event and discover the wow, the new family fun SUV from Opel. With big comfort, huge space and room for 7. Choose hybrid or electric and make every drive a new adventure. Get behind the wheel at Manor Motors, your Opel dealer. Now with 5 years unlimited warranty. The new Opel Frontera. Fun has found its family.
With TUI, there's more choice than you think. Beach days or a city break. Weekend in Rome? Booked. Fly from your local airport? Of course. Just a hotel? Got them too. Number of nights? Take your pick. Tailor your trip with more options and more choice. TUI. Live happy.
If you're looking for furniture that turns heads, at Foy's and Ballybuffet in Letterkenny, we're more than a furniture store. We're your style destination. From elegant sofas to eye-catching lighting, luxurious beds to statement wall art, we offer the largest range of quality furniture and home decor in the Northwest. Every piece is selected for quality, comfort and timeless design. Check out our socials for exclusive offers and inspiration. Foy's, where great interiors begin.
Now, we're just going to briefly return to Councillor Kieran Brogan. Kieran, sorry, you were just about to say that I believe that you were listening to the ambulance service, ETC, just in relation to the traffic. What was the point you were going to make?
Yeah, well, I think it's very evident that a lot of the figures that I had and my colleagues have highlighted about the active travel projects and the 4-lane project, unfortunately, a lot of that is coming to pass. It's unfortunate, but I think what we need now is a coordinated approach led by the Chief Executive and the Director of Service of Donegal County Council and all the road directors to sit down to give a reassurance to the general public and the road users that the Council are taking their concerns very serious, because it is very serious at the moment. And, you know, I've seen first hand where the ambulance service is having challenges, even the hospital going to get to lift patients and coming back to the hospital. So I think, you know, where we can give that reassurance that the carriageways are clear, and this, you know, I can't emphasise enough that this needs to happen as a matter of urgency, because we need to give a reassurance to the general public, and it's not about the blame game of who voted for and who voted against. I think it's much more serious than that now at this time, Greg, and we need to give that reassurance to the public, and particularly we're in the hospital and the management of all that service.
Just finally, in relation to that, the modelling that was employed to help form the plans for the stretcher road outside the hospital obviously was off, because we are now seeing potentially new lanes being introduced that were to be scrapped, etc. Does that not bring into question the modelling in general, and that maybe there could be a pause put on this to ensure that that modelling was accurate as it might relate to impacts in other parts of Letterkenny? Because if it was out on the first little bit of work that was being done, what could the ripple effect of that be? Or maybe I'm misinterpreting the modelling and its impact.
No, I think you have the modelling 100%, because there's no better model than actually standing on the road and watching the traffic movement that's happening on a daily basis. And I've said previously, there's no area that I can think of outside of Dublin that you have more traffic movement than you have from the hospital roundabout right up to Knocknamona. Right turning lanes are needed there. They're there for a reason. They were put on there by engineers back a number of years ago, and the same applies on the circular road as well. And maybe far too many desktop exercises have been done here, and all these models that we talk about, sometimes are only as good as the information that's fed into them. I've always believed that nothing beats being out on the ground and seeing what's happening. And as I said previously, the active travel projects are far too premature because of the huge volume. All our junctions and any traffic model or any traffic impact assessment that has been taken recently will show that all our junctions in Letterkenny are at full capacity at the moment, and they can't cope. So anything...
Just one final question in relation to outside the hospital as well. The carriageway, including the footpaths, is a certain width. There was a design put in place there to put in new footpaths, cycle lanes, and reduce that down to 2 lanes, narrowing that road with a view to slowing traffic as well. Now they've changed those plans whereby a turning lane may be introduced. What is going to give? It sounds very much to me like we're having all of this interruption. We're going to have all this money spent. There's no additional space to have that stretch of road really return to what it was beforehand. Do you understand where I'm coming from? That so, you know, where does this third lane come from, right? And what's going to give? Is it the? Go ahead.
I think I'm not going to mince my words in this one, Greg. You have it bang on, and I think this I've said from the outset. This, unfortunately, is a pure waste of public money, taxpayers' money, and that won't see any benefit to the drivers. And the cyclists who I'm talking to on a regular basis will say that they won't use it either because it's going to be too dangerous. So I think there needs to be a rethinking a lot of this. And look, you're fully informed of what's happening around the hospital there. I tried in every way I could, as did my colleagues at the time, that this was being voted through to highlight that. We spoke to the ambulance service, we spoke to the Gardaí at the time, but unfortunately it was pushed on through at the time. And I think it was wrong, and I still think it's wrong. But again, it's not about the blame game. I think we need to take a review of what's happening here, because people are getting very frustrated, and they're right to be frustrated as well.
All right, thank you for your time. Councillor Kieran Brogan there. Sorry for holding you, Councillor Niamh Kennedy, another important issue. Good morning to you. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. How are you all doing?
Doing great. Now, you recently attended the Students Shaping the Future of Democracy in Donegal, a Women and Diversity in Local Government event held by Donegal County Council and which is, and we've dealt with them here before on the show, See Her Elected. Firstly, I presume a very useful exercise, and has sort of shaped a motion that you're bringing forward.
Yeah, exactly. It was a fantastic event, very, very well run. Dr. Michelle Maher, obviously from See Her Elected, was there, and gave a great introduction to the young women from the 3 schools that attended that day. There was 100 students there, which was a great turnout. And as I say, three of the schools, Sculwara in Buncrana, Loretto in Letterkenny, and St Columba's in Stranorlar. And I hope, and I think we will be rolling it out again across through the gap to Donegal Town for the other school system that side of the gap. It was very informative. A lot of young people didn't really know and didn't understand, what the run of the council was, and how it all worked. And they were quite impressed by a lot of the work that had been going on and how it actually did work. The questions were asked of them. What can the council do for you, and how do you see your future, and what would you like to do for females in politics? So there was great conversation, great feedback from all of them. There was 13 tables there, so they all had their speak at the end, and all felt, and there was definitely a common theme coming through, that education in politics was very, very important for them. I think there's only maybe one school, a boys' school in Letterkenny, that teaches politics, so they kind of felt a little bit, that it wasn't kind of fair that other schools didn't have that option.
So the appetite is there, it would seem. And there are other schools that seem to have very active involvement in the Donegal Youth Council, which I think is a great system. And when you encounter students, what you actually do genuinely then see is various levels of understanding of democracy, local politics, national politics. Every child should have equal access to that. Every young teen, older teen, that's your view. So your motion is calling for politics to become mandatory in the curriculum. Is that how, or for schools?
Well, I haven't worded it correctly yet. I'm working on it. It's going to go in today, but it is around that. Whatever about being mandatory, it certainly needs to be acknowledged in all schools, and that every student should get the chance to be able to study that and do it in their Leaving Cert. Now, I know that some students are very, very dedicated to it anyway, and they'll try and do it outside of their school curriculum. Unfortunately, 20% of the marks for politics for the Leaving Cert comes from, it has to be signed off by the teacher. So obviously, if there's not been taught in the schools, then they don't get the benefit of the 20%. So that needs to be looked at. So it'll also cost anybody who wants to do it online about €2,000. So that's a lot of a cost on a student that's already, trying to get through and get things done in their normal school hours as well. So I think that it'd be very important that we do get it included, and we call on the minister to allow this to happen, and that there's an opportunity there for male and female to be able to study.
Is it not time, though, that the local authorities started actually showing some leadership in relation to this, in terms of how the role of a councillor is structured, when meetings are, what's expected of them, how you might be able to attend them? The reality is that the majority of care provided in this country is by women, especially in the early lives of children. So what we have is either women trying an impossible balancing trick of life and a family and politics, or they have to wait until they're a certain age. So the structures of a local authority need to change, surely, to make it to remove that barrier. Why should women have to come to politics so late in life? or take on so much work or juggle so much. You know, it's not equal.
It's not equal, and I don't think it will be until we get more women in there that they can make those changes themselves, and that they'll be able to be in a position to say, okay, this meeting does not suit us at 11 o'clock in the morning. It would suit us better either in the evening time or whatever way we want to work around it. And that does happen in areas throughout the country, so it can be done. I suppose there's a bit of in Ireland, we've got nearly 50-50 in the likes of Dublin, but certainly rural areas we don't have that. I mean, when I started out first, excuse me, in 2014, 83 people ran and 11 women ran out of that 83, and at that time only 3 of us were elected. Again in 19 we had 84 people run and 17 of those were women, and at that stage 4 were elected. And again, as you know.
Yeah, but you don't happen to have I mean, I presume that most of those that ran were independents as well. You see, there's an onus on the established political parties when there are opportunities, not to put people in because of their bits and pieces, for crying out loud. I don't mean that, but you know, to use opportunities to encourage or support women onto the council. You know, there are lots of fantastic women out there, and many of them have put themselves forward. But often they're independents and they're having to do it themselves, or there's some sort of a loose support system through the offices of the likes of Thomas Pringle or what have you. You know, like, we need independents coming forward, but the parties as well need to say, right, you've had your run, you've had your 50 years, let's give someone else a chance.
Yeah. Well, I think to be fair to both, particularly Sinn Féin and Fianna Fáil, they certainly did put forward women and have done, and you can see that historically.
I would disagree. I think I think really what they did in South Donegal with their candidate was actually unfair. Not, you know, in a show, and I can't remember the lady's name at the moment, adding to the ticket late, you know, for whatever.
Are you referring to the general election?
No, Claudia Kennedy is the lady I'm thinking of, for instance, for the council election, would be a very strong candidate in and of herself. I can't speak on her behalf. She's very loyal to the party. But, you know, coming in late, maybe not given the same level of support from what I could see. I've no insight into this, right? So my point is that, you know, it has to be in a very meaningful sense. And I'm not saying that wasn't, don't get me wrong, but when you look 2 years back or 5 years back, you're looking at raw numbers, don't you? And on the face of it, it looks good. But if you actually dig into what went on, it can be a little bit different.
Yeah, well, absolutely can. And I know that even Fine Gael had no female candidate at all running. You know, so it is. And I don't like this idea of a token gesture. It's not correct. It's not right. Because as you say, there are many, many very capable, very hardworking women out there that really put everything, you know, every effort into getting things done for both their communities, whether they're in the caring facilities, whether it's in education, all of these really important factors. So it's very important that we start to open the horizons a bit more. And I think, to be fair to Donegal County Council, they have done a great job with this event. They need to do more, and they're aware of that. And I think we, as the 3 female councillors that are in the council at the moment, need to push that harder, and we will do that to the best
and the
of our
fellas
ability.
need to step up. Look, bottom up is great, but top down, you meet somewhere in the middle, and it speeds stuff up. Okay, look forward to seeing the final wording of the motion and what comes from that, and what supports maybe the council can do to support schools who want to, even if it's not part of the curriculum, want to have sort of, you know, a block of it or something along those lines. It could be quite interesting.
But if you look at it as well, Greg, there is no female director within Donegal County Council. It's all a male dominated in that light as well. You know, and if you look over the years as well in the ETB, luckily we've got Anne McHugh there. She's been a great chief executive. But previous to Anne, there was only one other woman, and the ETB's going a very long time. It was, I mean, the VEC before that. So yeah, we've a lot of changes to make and a lot of work to do. But I think if we
and
support
there's some brilliant
each other-
organisations, like if you look at DLDC, you know, a huge female representation, as far as I'm aware, in that organisation, and it's one of the most successful organisations in the county.
Absolutely. And through the local community and development committee, you'll see more and more women there all the time at those meetings, and they're the ones with huge input into it. But yet, no, they're not the ones that are coming forward for an election. So we need to try and change that.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't encourage anyone, but that's completely up to you.
No.
I'm not about man or woman. But anyway, all right, listen, thanks, Niamh. That's Councillor Niamh Kennedy there, independent candidate based out of, in and around the Killybegs area. In relation to flooding, Kieran Brogan, 47 years ago, when I was new to the area and only driving for a short time, I proceeded to drive through the flood at Trenta. My car half lifted up with the water inside, had to be towed out, drenched. Relief work was done periodically over the years, but obviously more work is due now and again. It's just caused by swampy land there. Yeah, I remember there was very similar down our way in Merva. They did do some great work to relieve that. But the back road, you could call it, from Ballantrae down through Merva down to Mullinasol, where we were, is very much inclined to flood. But it was different then, because I remember Dad trying to risk it in the old cars, right, that were covered in holes and rust and everything, and you'd have water squirting in. Squirt, Dad's a mad, you know. The mum would never do that. On the subject of roads, the Killylaston Road is destroyed too, a road used for travelling to Illistrin School. Okay, right, let's take a break. Back with the weather.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
Are you waking up grumpy? Aching? Oh. Or worse, you're walking into the wardrobe instead of the shower because you didn't sleep well.
Ouch!
You need a new mattress. Restex beds have the comfiest, dreamiest mattresses in Donegal. So good you'll snooze through your neighbour's lawnmower on a Saturday morning. Or that barking dog. You don't have to suffer another sleepless night. Call to Restex Beds, Mountaintop, Letterkenny. Restex Beds. Leave the rest to us.
Everybody has the right to be heard. If a person has a challenge with communication or decision making, there are many ways to enable their voice, such as meeting in person, using assistive technology, or together with their appointed decision supporter.
Respecting rights is a responsibility of all services, and it's the law.
My voice is my right. Assisted decision-making law means I decide.
Safeguardingday.ie from Safeguarding Ireland and the HSE.
This festive season, don't give yourself an excuse. Give yourself the gift of balance at Beyond Light Therapy in Buncrana, where feeling good truly begins. Join us on November 27th between 3 and 7 p.m. for something a little different. Come along, have a chat, and see for yourself how this amazing technology works. For just €120, you'll get 4 hours for the price of 2 in our 60-unit energy enhancement system, a healing detox bath kit, your own personal flower essence, and a €160 voucher to use through December. Spots are limited. Call Beyond Light Therapy today and book your place.
If you're fitting a new kitchen or replacing some tired appliances, now's the time with the Ben Sweeney Euronics Kitchen Bundle. Get a single oven and hob, integrated dishwasher and fridge freezer, wash machine and tumble dryer, all for just €2,000. Other kitchen bundles are available on request. Call us today or visit Ben Sweeney Euronics, Port Road, Letterkenny, in the shopping centre, Dunlow.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhinney's. Discover Christmas gift ideas for everyone on your list, from trending beauty to memorable Secret Santa gifts. Visit us in Ballybuffet to explore our extensive range of gifts or shop online at mcelhinney's.com today.
So, the weather forecast today mainly cloudy with occasional bright periods. There'll be rain or drizzle during the morning, but it'll become drier for the rest of the day with isolated showers. Highest temperatures today of 7 to 10 degrees with moderate to fresh northeasterly winds. Coming up later on in the programme, we're actually going to be speaking to a scooter user. We talk about scooter usage a lot around towns and villages right across our region, and of course some of that is a little bit negative. But what's it like to actually get around on a scooter? You know, these people aren't pariahs, they're part of our community, and sometimes that's the way they get about. So a scooterer has scooted up here. We'll be scooting into the studio after 10 for a chat about, I suppose, using that as your commute. I was in a car collision which caused a severe neck injury, which has caused me to be in and out of work on an ongoing basis. Donegal transferred me to Galway. They told me I'm a non-urgent case, forcing me to have to go private to Ballykelly. The appointment is costing me €500 alone. I'm on codeine for the pain, which I try hard not to take. This means I have the added cost of taking out a loan to cover the cost. This country, they say, is broken. Any advice for that person, by the way? I'm not sure we can help, but just any advice. I'm sorry for what you're going through. I really am. On the issue of flooding, I think, Greg, if the council clean out the ditches both sides of the floods in the fields would help with the flooding on the road at Trenta. There's a lot of bushes stuck in the ditches that keep causing the road to flood. The engineers, I think Kieran Brogan mentioned, were out last night, and hopefully they'll come up with a solution there. I would have fished the River Lennon for years along with the kids, says a listener. Trees are blocking bridges, restricting the flow of water. Just go into Ramelton and look at the trees down in the river alone, although these trees are not causing the water backup. The farmers in some of these areas are no longer farming the ground like they did years ago. Some have retired and are leasing the ground. Just look at the roads where the hedges have grown and not been cut in years, and the result is that the roads are narrowing, causing minor collisions. The road in Trenta is sinking because the ground is waterlogged nearly all year round because of the River Lennon and the drains not being cleared. Staying on the roads, just coming out of Letterkenny on the dual carriageway, there are 2 lorries with heavy loads on them, and traffic is an absolute chaos. Can't understand who sanctioned the work. No one's taking responsibility for the chaos being caused. Would hate to be a business person in Letterkenny, bound to be losing money coming up to Christmas. Money would have been far better spent on bus lanes for emergency vehicles and taxis. Pure money grab by the council. Listen, the council think they're doing the right thing for the future of the town. It's not. There's no money in it really as such. There's money there, but I mean, again, like, you know, what do I know? I think I would have spent any money I had on a bus stroke taxi lane, and as much of Letterkenny as you could get one in, and you know, try and grab a bit of extra or narrow the other lanes to try and accommodate a decent cycle lane, so that the active travel element of it would be people able to effectively get around Letterkenny on a bus. Also to facilitate the traffic, the car traffic, and then maybe down the line widen that cycle lane when the 10T is, if it ever is, completed. You know, but the bus service for Letterkenny has been delayed now until at least November 26th. And when it comes on stream, it's going to be backed up in all the other traffic. You know, as I say, I'm not an engineer. What do I know? But I would have spent my time and money in trying to get a bus lane in as much of that town as is possible, which also could have been used by scooters and cyclists and taxis, and get people around as quickly as possible so that traffic, like it's seen in other areas, that traffic's prioritised. And then that becomes more attractive and maybe more people use it and buses arrive on time and all that malarkey. I mean, you can imagine, with the best will in the world, with all the roads narrowed and a town bus sitting in that traffic, you know, how long are people going to stand around waiting for it? But there's been nothing done, as far as I can see, to sort of accommodate a town bus service, except jump it in or dump it in with all the other traffic. Again, I'm not an engineer. Again, maybe I'm talking out of my hat, but that's the route I would have went down. In relation to housing construction in this country, or problems with infrastructure to facilitate that, a listener says 200 of the 400 wastewater and sewage systems needing upgrading in Ireland are in Donegal, yet the council only nominated 5 such systems to Uisc Éireann for funding since 2019. Surely, is that right? 200 of the 400 wastewater and sewage schemes needed or upgraded, needing upgraded in Ireland are in Donegal? We can't be that represented in that number, can we? I'm not saying you're wrong, but my word, that's crazy. A note for anyone travelling from Buncrana to Letterkenny. It used to take about 45 minutes. An hour is not enough anymore. You need to allow, if you're travelling from Buncrana, an hour and a half to make a journey. Re-America, there is a Google Drive with all the emails released yesterday, and there's much worse than what those Dems released, including several blackmail confirmations, war game exposing him, that he was so focused on the young girls in bikinis, he walked straight into the glass door and left a nose print. Pretty disgusting stuff all around. The thing is, what annoys me about this is the elites. I don't care if it's Donald Trump, Andrew Windsor, or whatever his name is, any of them that have been named in it. It's that regular people, us, regular people, are arguing on back of some of these billionaires who are laughing at us, saying, oh, he wouldn't do that, or he didn't do that, or it's political, and blah, 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 blah. What we should be looking at is a massive sex abuse circle that's there in plain daylight that needs to be fully exposed, and anyone who exploited those young girls to be held to the full strength of the law.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
McGowan Hearing, one of the longest established audiologists in the Northwest, now have weekly clinics in Letterkenny, Buncrana and Carndonagh. Book your free hearing aid consultation at one of these clinics or with audiologist Darren McGowan in your own home. Call 07191 00208 or visit mcgowanhearing.com.
Tá muchiiste den tauchi, an scéim nua coigeltis scoir lena gláró verdína go huaibriach ag techt go lua. Cuireann tusa airgid isteach, cuireann do ostóir airgid isteach, agus cuireann an stát breis airgid isteach ar a bhór. Bealach iontacha tá an chun airgid a chábháil do de hauchaí, agus tú ag tnú le leashaint as lucht a héir. Má tá tuile ólashuit, tuair cuairt ar gov.ie/auto-enrollment. Teachtareacht ó Rialtas na Héireann.
Nuair a rounín tú an choras umpar feibli, tá a chion féin á dhéanamh agat le hastíochtaí umpar na Héireann a laidú. Ó fiche dó ile. Tá breis agus céadochtú bailach bus nuanú fiosathe tuga isteach ag an blean suchlúiseachta tuaithe éire an asca ar fud líonra TFI. Is é sin 8 milliún turas a rinne ar na bailí seo an bhlíonn seo caite. Rud atá ag tuairt níos mó dúin le chéile ar bailach níos in bhúnathe. Cibé áit bhfuil de rial tá tábhacht le de thuras. gov.ie/your journey counts ó Rialtas na Héireann.
The Three Amigos, Jimmy Buckley, Robert Mazzell and Patrick Feeney are back on tour. This award-winning show is full of laughter, music and song. See The Three Amigos live. Clonry Hotel, Letterkenny, Monday, January 26th. Tickets priced $39.50, now on sale at hotel reception and ticketmaster.ie, where extra charges may apply. The Three Amigos live. This show is not to be missed.
Morning to you. How are you all keeping? I hope you're very well.
Hello, darling. Hope you've started packing.
Mum.
We're dying to see you this Christmas. The tree's up already.
Mum, I don't know how to say this.
What's wrong, pet?
I can't come home this year. It's just too expensive.
Oh, sweetheart. We'll miss you.
Sometimes life keeps us apart. But at Highland Radio, no matter where you are in the world, this year we want to make Christmas extra special for one lucky family. We want to bring a family home for Christmas. You can nominate yourself or a loved one. Visit highlandradio.com to submit your nomination. Let's bring families together this Christmas.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it's 10 o'clock. Donald Kavanagh at the news desk. The Dáil has been told that Public School Cloughanile in Falcarra is in dire need of emergency works, but ultimately it requires a new school building. Donegal Deputy Pearse Doherty catalogued a series of issues at the school, saying it's a testament to the professionalism of the teachers and the school that it manages to provide an excellent education. Junior Minister Hildegard Naughton confirmed that emergency works applications are being considered, but she said the application for new building will be judged against demographics and population projections. Deputy Doherty told the Dáil the situation at the school is grave.
When you look at the overall works that have to be carried out, there's a new roof to be done. There's serious issues in terms of the prefabs. There's issues in terms of fire safety. This school needs a new build. The roof is leaking in multiple areas, mould and damp are spreading, drainage is failing in the bathrooms. They're moving around buckets to try and make sure that classrooms are available to teach, and dehumidifiers moving around from classroom to classroom. And despite all of this, the staff continue to do outstanding work, providing first-class education conditions that are completely substandard.
And you can hear that full exchange on our website, highlandradio.com. Police in Derry are at the scene of a security alert in the Glen Abbey Close and Birravale area of the city. Over 20 homes have been evacuated following reports of 2 suspect devices shortly after midnight. A public safety operation remains in place. Police say the cordons have been reduced somewhat, but there is still no access to Glen Abbey Close. The Gallia Community Centre has been opened and made available as a respite centre. Gardaí are investigating an alleged public order offence at a premises on the Letterkenny Road last night. Gardaí say they received the report at approximately 9:15, but when members of the force attended the scene, the persons involved in the incident had left. Investigations are continuing. The government's long-awaited housing plan is being published this morning. It is intended to build 300,000 homes by 2030, including 90,000 starter homes. It'll also include a plan to expand the vacant property grants, which are intended to convert more empty properties into homes. It's understood the government won't set out annual housing targets after missing them last year. The CEO of Property Direct, Carl Talon, says that's a worry.
The lack of annual targets definitely sounds a bit defeatist, and I can understand politically why that might happen. Look, there's definitely a sense of deja vu. I don't think we can overegg the pudding here. People are tired of plans, they're tired of new launches. However, there is something slightly different here and a few reasons to be positive. There have been a number of legislative changes brought forward, and we're phasing in the new Planning and Development Act.
Well, Transport Minister Darragh O'Brien, who was previously in charge of housing, admits they need to scale up and get homes built faster. But he says he's confident this plan will work.
It's about gaining momentum, okay? There's a lot of shovels in the ground. We'll see good completion rates this year, I would expect. But it is the measures that were brought forward in the budget, which have been welcomed by the sector and by those who are building homes as well. There's a good pipeline of social and affordable homes also. What the plan endeavours to do is cross-government approach.
A helpline is opening today for anyone impacted by what are described as serious and significant failures in safeguarding in the Presbyterian Church in Ireland. An internal investigation has identified situations between 2009 and 2022 where it failed to respond when people wanted help, and instances where offenders returned to worship but were inadequately monitored. The church has apologised. Monitor Reverend Dr. Trevor Gribben has confirmed he's stepping down.
The Church's first and greatest concern about this is for the people who have suffered harm and those who have been put at risk. The Presbyterian Church in Ireland profoundly regrets this, is deeply grieved, and will offer all possible support to those affected.
Uisce Éireann says repairs to a burst water main in Killybegs may cause supply disruptions in the vicinity of Rushing Road, the waterfront and surrounding areas today. The works are scheduled to take place until 7 o'clock this evening. Meanwhile, reservoir cleaning works are continuing in East Donegal, with works taking place at Glenswilly and Rann until 6 o'clock this evening. Tomorrow, the cleaning works move to Lurgy Brack. And motorists are being advised that Windy Hall Road in Letterkenny will close from now, with closures to continue until Wednesday of next week. That's to allow for essential roadworks. Now, in an update, Donegal County Council has now confirmed that closures will take place today and tomorrow during the day, and again on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. The road will be open to traffic in the evenings and overnight, and also over the course of the weekend. Weather forecast now mainly cloudy with occasional bright periods. The rain or drizzle will clear somewhat during the morning. It'll be drier then for the rest of the day with some isolated showers. Top temperatures today 7 to 10 degrees Celsius with moderate to fresh northeasterly winds developing. And that's Highland Radio News. We're back with local news headlines again at 11 o'clock. In the interim, check all the day's news on highlandradio.com. But for now, from the news team, good morning. The obituary notices for this Thursday morning, the 13th of November. The death has taken place of Breed Byrne, née Carr, Crove, Carrick. Reposing at McCabe's funeral home are Dra from 2 o'clock until 8 o'clock this evening, and at her residence from 12 noon until 10 p.m. tomorrow. Funeral from there on Saturday morning to St Patrick's Church, Meenaneary, for Requiem Mass at 11 o'clock, followed by burial in Kilcar Cemetery. House private, please, on the morning of the funeral. The death has taken place of Veronica Cutliff, Clonbeg, Buncrana, née Gibbons of Ocht Road, Chure, Muff. Veronica will repose at her late residence from 12 noon today. Leaving from there on Saturday morning at 10:30, going to St Mary's Church, Cockhill for 11 o'clock Requiem Mass with burial in the adjoining cemetery. The Mass can be viewed on churchservices.tv. Family time, please, from 12 midnight until 9 a.m. The death has taken place of Pauline McGettigan, Forker, Milford. Pauline will repose at her residence in Milford today from 2 p.m. until 10 p.m. House strictly private, please, at all other times. Funeral Mass tomorrow morning at 11 in St John the Baptist Church, Carrigart, followed by burial in Carrigart Cemetery. Pauline's funeral Mass can be viewed on the Meva Parish Facebook page. The death has occurred of Molly Harkin, Balnaman, Clohan. Molly's remains will repose at her daughter Lavina Temple's home at Thompsonton Duff, Clohan, today from 12 noon until removal at 6:15 to Our Lady of Perpetual Succour Church, Glenfin, for reception prayers at 6:45. Requiem Mass tomorrow morning at 11 with burial afterwards in Kiltyvogue Cemetery, Glenfin. The Requiem Mass can be viewed on the parish webcam. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to Barnes View Ward, St Joseph's Hospital, care of any family member or Marley Funeral Directors. The death has taken place of Brenda McDermott, 13 Evish Square, Strabane, formerly of 325 Ballycolman Estate. Funeral from her home tomorrow morning at 9:25 for Requiem Mass in St Mary's Church, Melmount at 10 o'clock, followed by interment in the adjoining cemetery. Family time, please, from 10 o'clock tonight and before the funeral tomorrow. The Requiem Mass can be viewed via the parish webcam. The death has taken place of Rory McCullough, Gorchy North, Ballindrate, Lifford, reposing at his residence today from 3 p.m. until 10 p.m. House strictly private, please, at all other times. Funeral Mass tomorrow morning at 11 in St Peter's Church, Milford, with burial afterwards in Milford Cemetery. The funeral Mass can be viewed on churchservices.tv. And the death has taken place of Mary Catherine Blythe, née Stevenson, Holly Hill. Funeral from her late home at 44 Lawson Park, Ballymagorry, tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 for a service of thanksgiving for her life in Leckpatrick Parish Church at 2 o'clock, followed by burial in the adjoining churchyard. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to Altogalvin Hospital, ICU, care of Mrs Ruth Hay, Funeral Director. Reposing at the family home from 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. today. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
Dazzle your guests this Christmas with Aldi's specially selected range. Discover amazing appetizers like flavoured smoked salmon, seasonal spectaculars like Bord Bia quality assured slow-cooked Irish silverside ham, just $19.99, in store December 5th. And dreamy desserts like the ultimate melting baubles, indulgent chocolate with a salted caramel pouring sauce, in store December 19th. If you love Christmas, you love Aldi specially selected, while stocks last.
Welcome back and welcome into the second hour of today's show. Listen, this will pass, but a lot of people. There's 40,000 cars come into Letterkenny every single day. There's a lot of people live in the town, right? It's the major population centre, and all roads go through Letterkenny if you live in the north of the county. So you can imagine that we're not trying to over amplify it. We are getting hundreds of comments in relation to it, and we are here to sort of platform what is concerning people. It'd be remiss of us not to keep talking about it for the time being. Roads in Letterkenny this morning, there's bad flooding at the roundabout onto the dual carriageway. Someone referenced that yesterday as well, actually, and they were really peed off about it. Once again, traffic in Letterkenny is jammed. Why not supply extra bus services to help reduce the volume of traffic on the roads? There is a car broken down on the road from Illustrant to Mountain Top roundabout. This is causing delays. It's adding to delays. The delays are already there. Another, obviously, the planners don't give two hoots about the public. Roadworks could be at night, as throughout Europe, or in January after the Christmas rush. Instead, it's all for the convenience of contractors. Well, the works that will be going on, as far as I'm aware, as part of active travel down at the Mount Errigal Hotel area, they will be at night. Letterkenny's traffic situation has been recently designed and built to the way it is currently, a massive deflection from other more prominent issues facing the people of Donegal. We can see this is the case because of the amount of airtime Highland Radio gives to Letterkenny traffic chaos, whilst at the same time never calling out the people who just recently engineered and built Letterkenny's roads to be the way they are. Well, interesting comment. I'm not sure the point you're exactly trying to make, to be honest with you. But you, maybe in the 17th, 18th, 19th century, you drag people out into the market square or something. That's not how things are done now. People have rights to privacy. People have right to a good reputation. Who ultimately, specifically, is responsible for something? Well, you know, who signs off on it? Who votes for it? Who designs it? A team design it. But those designs go through what is effectively the democratic process and have to be voted on by councillors. So I don't know what you want. Is it heads on a stick, what you want us to do? But as I say, you know, we are covering this within the rules of how it's covered. and it's a very significant issue for a lot of people. It may not be terribly significant to you, but maybe we'll be talking shortly about something that is important to you and not to others. That's generally the way it goes. We can't all have our own personal radio station or program that talks only to what we're interested in all of the time. Tomorrow we are heading to the Finn Valley College in Stranraer, so I'll be leaving home about 3 a.m. It's in advance of the launch of their album, Our Donegal, so we wanted to go along and celebrate that. Now, we have our Friday panel. You know the way it is when we're out and about. The show is as is normal, but with the added treat of in-studio guests relevant to where we are. So we're going to have live music from students and staff. There's going to be poetry performances and all that interwoven in between our regular 9 till noon show. So that's us live tomorrow from 9 a.m. from the Finn Valley College in Stranraer. Really looking forward to getting back to the Twin Towns. Now, some of your requests and dedications, which we really love to see on, and we generally read them out about now. A very happy 86th birthday to Nellie McCallion, who's in Muff. Warmest wishes from Australia, America, County Meath and Inishowen, from your 5 daughters, your 7 sons, their partners, 38 grandchildren and 20 plus great-grandchildren. Wow, Nellie, what an amazing scale of a family you have. A very happy 86th birthday from all over the world, from all of your siblings and theirs, and also, not your siblings, I'm sure your siblings as well, your children and theirs. And from all of us here at Highland Radio, Nellie, happy birthday. Lena McMonigal in St. Eunan's Terrace, Letterkenny, it's your birthday today. A very happy birthday to you, Lena. That's coming in from your friends and your family and your neighbours. Could you please wish Anne Gallagher, Donegal Road, Ballabuffe, a very happy birthday. Have a great day, Mum. Lots of love from Shauna and John. Happy birthday, Anne, from us all here as well. Could you please wish Joseph Sweeney a very happy 21st birthday today from all on the bus 72 in his shown Letterkenny. Enjoy Joseph, really, because, 21 is probably the last big birthday you celebrate before 30, if the truth be told, unless you're very well looked after. So it's going to be a while before you have a landmark birthday, I think. So happy birthday to you, Joseph. Could you please play a birthday request from my friend Anne Gallagher, Donegal Road in Ballabuffe? Lots of love, this time from Tara. And they're looking for a song which we'll pass on. I'm sure it will get played down the line at some point. We don't play music, but that's grand. So again, happy birthday to you, Anne, a very popular lady today.
The county's #1 talk show, the 9 till noon show on Highland Radio.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Thursday the 13th of November, Jackpot Day. You're playing for the jackpot prize of €11,200 on the pink sheet. The reference number is S9. It's game number 46. The jackpot number is 25. This number can come out in any position from the next 10 numbers drawn. And now, here are your daily numbers. 25. 32, 19, 67, 78, 53, 14, 45, 55, and finally 77. Phone your claim to 9104833 before midnight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland bingo information at highlandradio.com.
The 2025 Northwest Breast Cancer Ball is on Friday, December the 5th in the Silver Tassie Hotel. It's a night of great food and entertainment with special guest Shay Given. Tickets priced just €60 are available now from the hotel reception. See Facebook or Instagram for more details. That's the Northwest Breast Cancer Ball in the Silver Tassie Hotel, Letterkenny, on Friday, December the 5th. The ideal occasion for a great Christmas get-together.
Self-assessed taxpayers. Your income tax return is now due. Use Ross to pay and file online by the 19th of November. For more information, visit www.revenue.ie/pay and file. Don't wait. Pay and file today to ensure you avoid interest, late filing surcharges and penalties.
Who's watching your home while you're asleep, at work, or on holiday? With the Sheridan Security Alarm System, you can be assured of round-the-clock monitoring. Our central monitoring station is on duty 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, monitoring homes and businesses in the Northwest for intruder, fire, panic, and medical signals, giving you the peace of mind you deserve. Sheridan Security Systems, Bonagee, Letterkenny, protecting what you value most. Call us for a free quotation on 91-26025.
At Centro, we've got amazing Santa savers from now until the big man arrives. Like Bailey's Irish Cream Liqueur 700ml, only €10. McVitie's Victoria Biscuit Selection 490g, only $3.75. And Centra Fresh Irish Strip Loin Steaks 2-pack, only €9. Stock up with Centra. Centra. Live every day. Enjoy alcohol sensibly.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
Now let's have a chat to Kevin, who joins us now. Hi, Kevin.
Hi, Greg. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Good to have you on the show. Now, you are, I suppose, really a relatively early adapter to the e-scooter. You've been getting about on one now for 4 years. I mean, I know they've been around longer than that, but I think really, certainly locally, coming into sort of regular use, you've been at it for quite some time, Kevin. Why did you get? What did it bring to your life in terms of getting about and stuff?
Well, up until around 5 years ago, I moved. I used to live down off the main street. And I moved up to Mountaintop, and I can't drive. And you're stranded up here. There's not much facilities or shops. And I got the scooter, and it really changed my life. It gave me a freedom. I wasn't dependent on the bus service, which there isn't really a great amount of service there. And the cost of taxis was terrible, so it saved me money too. Freedom and, cost.
And in terms of getting about, I mean, wherever you are in Letterkenny within reason, I mean, you've got the range, you can go up to 20 kilometres per hour. You can get about wherever the hell you like. It's that's a big advantage.
It's ideal for the town. Now, not so much in the country, but getting around the town, you're not needing a big range. You're not needing speed or anything. You can fold it up as well. It's just a handy way of getting about.
Right. So, in terms of getting about and your own personal safety. I mean, obviously, you're supposedly not allowed to cycle them on or use them, on footpaths, etc. Do you comply with that? Do you use it on the roads, and if so, well, what's that like?
Luckily, I'm quite confident on the scooter. I know there are friends of mine that wouldn't be so confident. So initially, I was on the pavement, but for the past 3 years, it's all been the road. But I do remember first time I went out on the road, it was daunting, particularly the road, down Mountaintop, down towards the hospital. It's a busy road, and it took a while to get comfortable with it.
I've said this before the show too. I think when you're scooting, because of the width of them and the way you might stand on them, the profile's even smaller than a cyclist. And, I've seen scooters on the roads, and I thought, well, I would feel very vulnerable if that was me, because it's almost like you're half the width of a cyclist.
Yes, and another thing people don't really realise, I don't think, is the wind, because you are vertical, sorry. The wind can swing you around. So, you really do have to be careful. And it's not too bad going through, like estates and smaller, less busy roads, but certainly on the main road, you're concerned if there's a crosswind. Like, I wouldn't go out if it's too breezy on the scooter,
Okay.
because all it takes is a gust, and you can just get blown. Might only be a couple of feet, but that's enough, on the road.
Mm.
So wind is a big one. I think a lot of people don't realise.
There does seem to be a trend or a habit amongst people using scooters, and we heard it in fact from Garda Grani on Tuesday, to wear dark clothing. Do you be conscious of that yourself? Do you I mean, by the sounds of it, you really do want to be seen, Kevin. That's the vibe I'm getting off you.
Yes, and again, initially around before, probably beyond 3 years, I didn't wear a high vis, and but I thoroughly recommend it, particularly this time of year. You're not visible. A lot of people do wear dark clothes, and I think the high vis is an important one. I know it's not implemented that you have to, but I would severely recommend it.
Yeah, because the lights on a scooter will get you by the law, but they're tiny. Especially the wee red light behind. It's tiny. Now it's there. Don't get me wrong, but it's very easy to identify other vehicles by their tail lights. The scooters not so, especially on a wet, cold, windy evening.
No, from the front you'll see, but from the back it's just a little square. And it's very low to the ground. So for a driver for it to be visible to a driver, it's not great. So the high vis is certainly, I think, essential.
So Kevin, obviously we can be very judgy and critical. I try and avoid being so, but sometimes maybe I come across that way, but it's not my intention, to sort of give out to scooterers on footpaths. Now, you've told a story, and it's quite breezy here if you were going down Mountaintop today, for example, but you talked of how you transitioned from the footpath onto the road. Why do you think so many still go up and down the footpaths? You'll see them coming up the mountaintop on the far side or on the near side. There seems to be, it seems to be very ad hoc. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
I think, some people just won't comply with the rules. I think that's definitely a point. But another thing is they're scared. It is daunting. I've experienced you're not treated well on the roads. There is a hostility towards people on scooters, and I get where it comes from. But if we have to comply with the rules of the road and be on them, I think we should be afforded the same respect.
People don't want you on the footpaths, and then people don't want you on the roads. So it's a catch-22. And you've been intimidated by drivers whilst on the roads as well, haven't you?
It's daily. You'll get something. I mean, on Tuesday when you were speaking about it, that's what instigated me to send email, because that day in particular, I was on the scooter down there where the police station is, and a car was on the other side of the road and decided to swerve into me to give me a fright and then swerve round. Now that's happened twice in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's completely
trying to scare you. If you're on the road, you're getting people shouting out the window, get on the pavement, people splashing you, purposefully coming up beside you. It's just, there's something, most days you're going to get something.
Yeah, and some of the old stuff you mentioned, which would be really quite startling, is cars beeping at you just as they pass. Also,
or revving up.
Yeah, or trying to cut you off.
Cut you off if you're on the inside, maybe on a cycle lane, and they're stuck in traffic. Some cars will just pull in so you can't get by on the road. Again, it's just total disrespect, and that is scaring scooter users.
It's funny because,
and that is,
yeah, I hear where you're coming from, and yet we have a cohort of cyclists who choose not to use cycle lanes that are provided for them and would prefer to run the gauntlet of the traffic, something you're very much trying to avoid. So if there are more cycle lanes with the active travel around Letterkenny, that's good news for you then, is it? And you believe other scooter riders that they will welcome these cycle lanes and use them?
Certainly, 100%. The areas in town that have the cycle lanes, it's refreshing being on those routes. You're not on edge. You're not worried that someone's going to come up and beep or swear or, try to scare you. But obviously there aren't enough cycle lanes in town.
Yeah.
But I think another thing is if the infrastructure was there, if there was possibly a long-term plan and then you could encourage people to use scooters, particularly people that live within the town. There is a traffic problem, and if the cycle lanes were there, the infrastructure was there, you could take a bit of heat off the traffic in town. So there's a case there too.
All right, okay. Listen, thanks for your insights, Kevin. I do appreciate that. It's always good to hear different points of views and the experience of different road users. So fair play to you for emailing in, and thanks for coming on and explaining your experiences so well. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I do just one more thing.
Okay.
I get where the... Right, okay, right.
No. No. So I'm saying yes,
No.
Kevin. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off. Go on. The one more thing, please.
No, I can get where the hostility comes from. Particularly a few years ago, you would see scooter users flying up and down the main street. No, it's intimidating then for pedestrians. So I can see where the hostility comes from, but it's not going to get any better if people are intimidating scooter users on the road. And I think if that was known, more people would go on the roads, and it would eventually work better.
Yeah. It's about using the shared space, isn't it? All right, Kevin, thanks very much for your time. 086 60 25,000. WhatsApps and texts. We've got some very interesting conversations coming up for you too. We have the 2025 Letterkenny Chamber Hall of Famers. We're looking forward to getting them into studio. Ewan and Rachel McIntyre, they're going to be joining me very shortly. We're also going to touch base with the London Donegal Association Person of the Year as well. We had a quick chat to him when we were over in London, but no harm just checking in to congratulate him on his wonderful award. That and so much more besides just around the corner.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from €40,000 to €600,000 with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
Join us at McElhinney's department store on Sunday 16th of November for our annual Christmas Windows unveiling as part of a fun-filled day out at the Twin Towns Christmas markets and Town Light celebrations, with entertainment, music and more throughout the day, followed by our windows unveiling from 6 p.m. We hope you can join us as we officially kick off the festive season at McElhinney's.
At the heart of every successful business are highly skilled and talented people. That's why at SkillNet Ireland, we know that every skill counts. Whatever sector your business operates in and whatever skills you or your business needs, contact one of our 70 SkillNet business networks for training and development that's industry-led and can improve your business success. Visit skillnetireland.ie for upskilling and reskilling supports to develop your team. SkillNet Ireland is a business support agency of the Government of Ireland.
At Eclipse Cinemas Bundoran and Lifford Strabane, the stars shine brighter. This isn't just a trip to the movies, it's a VIP experience. Sit back in luxury as your favourite pizza,
yummy,
hot food and a cold drink are delivered right to your seat in any studio. But for the ultimate treat, step into the Director's Lounge, our most popular destination. Enjoy the film, enjoy the food and savour the experience. Only at Eclipse Cinemas Bundoran and Lifford Strabane.
McDade's Bathroom Plumbing Tiles in Buncrana continues to be Donegal's go-to destination for stunning bathroom makeovers. With a vast selection of premium tiles and bathroom products, our showroom is your ultimate one-stop shop for crafting the perfect space. We've earned our reputation through expert advice, unbeatable prices and a dedication to customer satisfaction. Visit our showroom in Cockhill and Buncrana and see why we've been Donegal's top choice for 50 years and counting. Call us at 07493 63050.
If you need an eye test, look no further than Louis Walsh Opticians. Letterkenny's longest established opticians are delighted to welcome patients new and old to their state-of-the-art practice in the Courtyard Shopping Centre. Their latest technology includes a 3D OCT retinal camera which assesses the health of your eyes in minutes. Private, medical card and PRSI patients welcome. Call 91 21000 to arrange your eye test.
Louis Walsh Opticians, Letterkenny. Your vision, our focus.
Join the Clonmany Community Centre for their Christmas Craft Fair this Saturday, November 15th from 12 until 4 p.m. See all the wonderful crafting talent from across the Northwest and enjoy craft demonstrations throughout the day with delicious Christmas treats and mulled wine. Bring your family and friends for a day of festive cheer.
Now, last weekend, Ewan and Rachel McIntyre, the owners of Mac's Deli, High Road in Letterkenny, received the Letterkenny Chamber Hall of Fame Award. And it is a really prestigious award where it's the community, the business community, not just in Letterkenny now, but far and wide, celebrate the achievements and contribution of a business. So Ewan and Rachel, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
And it's a lovely honour, Ewan.
Yes, it's a great privilege for us to be recognised by the local community. And when we got to shock ourselves, and when we were at the dance and seeing great companies from all over, from Inishowen, all over Donegal, small companies and big companies at the dance, it was a great privilege for us, and to be on the stage with another local business of Alcorns, who's a great business, and very good people.
Rachel, it all started back in 1990, but before that, the 2 years were over in America together, were you?
That's right, yeah. We were there from 83 to 90.
And was it your average American experience, or what were you doing?
Well, it was very different than the 80s compared to now. It wasn't just we take a gap year or something like that. It was out of necessity. We had to emigrate at that stage. So
people forget that there was multiple recessions, not least in the 80s.
Right, yeah.
Interest rates 15-16% on mortgages and stuff in the 80s. So
absolutely. So, and that's what Ewan went over. He was invited over to play football for the county Donegal team in New York, and then I followed over after that. And there was no work here at the time, so we stayed there until 1990. We decided to come back home then.
Yeah, and when you came back, Ewan, you were working for other people at that time, were you?
When we came back in 1990...
Can I just ask you to get a wee bit behind that microphone and you a little bit closer, because you've got a lovely soft voice, Rachel. So go ahead, Ewan. Yeah.
When we came back in 1990, there were, as my father says, things are changing here, but when we go back, the things weren't as good as we thought, and... I got a job for British.
Do you think he was? He sold you one, did he? Come on.
I think he was glad to see us home, and we were glad to get home too. Yeah. And then we got with Seamus McEwen give me a job in McEwen Electric at the time, and Rachel worked next door with Lawrence Blake in Mace shop.
So whose idea was it then to sort of go out on your own, and how did that conversation go? Rachel?
Well, I suppose Lawrence he opened a second shop on the High Road in Eugene O'Donnell's building, which is no longer there now. But then Lawrence had other interests at that time. He had a supermarket, another supermarket, and then another restaurant at the time. So he asked us to continue taking that on. He wanted to focus on these other
So is this on
businesses.
the current location? Is it
No?
No, the location was down for Solo.
Okay,
shop down
right,
in that area there. There was a Mace shop there,
Okay,
and Rachel worked in that.
Oh, I worked in that, but then the High Road building is no longer there. It was knocked down. Many Haircraft is there now.
Right.
And so it was an old building, and it was 600 square feet. It was a unit that had been previously rented by Eugene O'Donnell himself, or he owned it. And so we took it over just in October 1990. We took it over from Lawrence, and we didn't know what we were doing, but we opened 7 days a week from about 8 in the morning to about 11 at night, And we tried everything. The grocery trade was even very tough then, you know. So we decided to get into fresh foods. We'd seen a lot of that in delis in New York. So we started doing fresh food, salads, sandwiches, you know, whatever we could do ourselves, you know. Sometimes we started initially at home, and then we kind of started making on the spot then in the shop, you know. And that's how it turned our business around, you know, at that time.
Yeah, huge time commitment, Ewan, by the sounds of things, because I would say one of you was on site at one stage or other over the 7 days, if not both. And then, you know, you've taken on another arm of the business, and that's at home, right? Or in the, you know what I mean? So you were fully invested at this point, time-wise.
Fully invested time-wise, and we a young kid, Ronan, who's in the business now, thank God. But Ronan was only 9 months or 10 months at the time when we came home, and but we're very lucky. Like when we started, next door to us was a very good shop, a very good grocery shop at John Dunn's, and he opened to 8 o'clock at night, and we started open, and nobody came into our shop during the day, but after we had a great community service too, and after 8 o'clock, everybody in the locality used to come into us because they couldn't pass John Dunn, and we went to John years later to tell John if they'd opened another hour, we would never survive. We did all our trade from 8 to 11, but John says there's plenty for both of us here.
Do you think that kind of instilled, if it wasn't already there, or copper fastened the importance of the loyalty of customers? Because you could see straight up there that they were incredibly loyal to this man, and
yes,
what was he doing right?
That's it.
What can we employ?
We learned a lot from John Dunn. John was a real community man in the area, and we always looked up to John and his family and that, and they were all when we started the construction next door in '95, we tried to make it a community hub for the local area. I just see that we're in the same timeline as Highland Radio with 35 years in business. You opened in March, we opened in October that year.
But you'd have seen enough over the 5 years, Rachel, to realise, look, we can make something here in '95. But I mean, obviously, that all has to be funded. It feels like a gamble, I presume, at the time, did it? Or?
Yeah, it was a huge risk at the time. We bought the site with the intention of building at some point because it was a vacant field where we are now, and where Beechwood Park Estate is now. You know, that was completely vacant field. John Crossan had bought the site. And he was going to build all those houses, and he actually had a site on the road available, and the credit union had decided they didn't want it, so we got second option, and we got thankfully Joe Glenfield from the First Active at that time. He must have saw some potential there, so he...
you saw your books for the last 5 years.
Absolutely. I know.
It was about 2 good years of that we got through the sandwiches.
Thought, wow, okay. Buildings are going to go up in price. You know, he saw a bit of potential for the bank there, I think, as well.
But so he gave us the funding.
Which is great, that decision, and you know, there's little critical things can happen, and I can sure at that point where you say, look, that's been approved now.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
It's a lovely feeling, isn't it?
It's a lovely feeling, and what happened is we built it in stages. We had to get it up as quick as possible because we're taking all the money out of the small shop, of the 600 square shop, so every 3 or 4 months we had to make the payment, and it started off very tough, so we just got onto the wire and got it done.
So what was the structure of the business then early on? Because there was the tie-in with Mace there, but you had sort of seen over the previous years, you know, what was working really well for you in terms of, you know, income and all that type of stuff. So what was when opened, what was the shop at that point, Ewan?
Well, when we opened the new shop with the deli end of it going so well next door, as you say, we say this is the opportunity for us now to expand that area.
Right.
So we opened up with 12 seats in the shop originally, and at the time, Boyce's at the bottom of town were doing good business in that, but very little people were sitting in a grocery shop, and even the Mace people said that'll never work at the time. And within a couple of years, we went to 24, now 30, and we're up to about 60 now.
Yeah, because I think particularly in an urban area, it does seem that it shouldn't work as well as it does.
That's right, yeah.
But obviously there was enough in the grocery side of things, Rachel, that you wanted to retain that and not go full calf, full deli, full restaurant. Did that ever cross your mind, or?
Well, we always had customers that needed to come in for the paper,
For a few bits.
and their milk and the bread and things like that. And we needed those customers as well, the lottery and things like that, to bring people in, and then hopefully, the deli, they worked well together at that point. Now, as it turned out then in later years, maybe the Lidls and the Aldis and things like that, kind of came into the town, and groceries it was far too competitive for us to compete with them on prices and things like that. So we kept reducing down the grocery end of the business, and we kept developing the fresh foods more, and our seating and putting in kitchens, and employing people, chefs and people who were able to.
You never stood
do all the
still
work
for too long then. I mean, is there a year between now and 95 that you weren't doing something?
Every 3 or 4 years we look to see how we can improve. Now the young fella Roland stepping up to the plate now, and he's pushing on. Myself and Rachel we're trying to step back a wee bit, but he's pushing on, and in the last year he's brought in a new bakery and offices above the bakery, and that's been a big improvement. And it's we find it very a far more lean system of working and manufacturing, and it's helping the staff. They're not crowded into a small kitchen working on top of each other. Everybody has their area now and has a place of work, and that was due to Leo and Donegal Enterprise in the early days with Michael Tunney and that they sent up good people for the lean manufacturing that really helped us. And Donegal and ETB was helpful. And SkillNet too was very helpful.
I think it's really good that I mean, it sounds to me like for you guys every day's a learning day, and if there's an opportunity of growth or expansion in learning, that you're never too long in the game to learn it. Rachel, there's something too that you have to retain though, isn't there, in a business like yours? Okay, because you can get too big too quick, or you can lose what brings people in the door in the first place. So whilst you are extending here or changing there, or adding, there's something there presumably you have to retain, that experience for the customer, especially ones that have been in there since 95.
Oh, absolutely. We have to be very mindful, of the people who come in and they feel comfortable. It's still a comfortable place, and it's, everyone from, we can cater for children, we can cater for, retirees. We're trying to, maybe we have too big of a range, but we try to cater for everybody, and that sort of has helped us to stay in our business over the years, Plus the loyalty of the customers, the local Letterkenny County people, and also the people coming from all over the county, if they're coming in to shop or they're coming to visit people
it's
in
part
hospital.
of that experience.
It's part of that experience.
We'll grab lunch in Max or
That's
whatever it might be. So, Ewan, it's like the food element of it, going from, sandwiches to outside catering, all of that growth. How conscious do you have to be that you're growing within the frame of the business, so to speak?
Well, you're working all the time on growth, but you're also working on quality and experience, as you said, Greg, for the staff. But we take a lot of feedback. We look for feedback from customers all the time, and we look for ideas from the customers and ideas from the staff. How can we improve? So we have again, back to the lean. So we have meetings with the staff every morning, or not every morning, two mornings a week. We just had one this morning, Tuesdays and Thursday, and they only last 6 or 7 minutes. They're called huddle meetings, and they come up with ideas and we'll try them, see if they work. We'll learn from that. And
but that gives the staff a sense of ownership on the project too, doesn't it? It's really it's so critical that, and I'm not surprised it's so successful with that type of ethos where every member of staff feels part of the company, and that their opinion matters, and theirs could be the next great idea. Rachel, when you run a business like you're doing, whereby you're very conscious of your place in the community, right? So in terms of picking up the few bits or that familiar experience, I'd imagine it must be very difficult when you get to a point that you say, we're going to have to look at the prices here, or the input charges are such that we just can't keep that soup and a sandwich at that rate. How much can we put it up? Like, I get the feeling from you guys that it's as much about obviously you having to run a business, but also how much maybe you're potentially putting on your customers.
Yeah, well, it's finding the balance.
Yeah.
You know, we work hard at that, but it's like everybody, I mean, you know, everybody's struggling at the moment with with rising costs, you know, food costs. I mean, it's not just relevant to businesses, it's relevant to homes, you know, right across the country, you know. So we don't see ourselves any different. We just have to keep looking at what we're doing, trying to, if we have to increase, we do them within a certain margin that is not going to have too much of an impact on our regular customers, because we have customers that come in maybe 2 or 3 times a day, you know.
What I'm saying,
so we have to be very mindful of those.
It just makes it extra tricky, is really what I was kind of getting at, to try and sort of, you know, take into consideration the stuff that we don't see, you know, the price of a box of eggs. You know, we don't think about that as consumers. We just think about, why is that Tipex beside the steak sandwich?
Very good.
Right, so... I'm trying to phrase this right. So, yes, they're still very active, right? But I think maybe Union sees more in Ronan taking everything. And maybe I don't know about you, Rachel, right? But this fella's ready for the golf course and the caravan, right? But come here. Like, where do you see the business going from here, either of you? I mean, you're in a fantastic position. Actually, there's one thing I want to reference here specifically is the level of employment. You talked about the amount of staff, 30 staff. Sometimes if an IT company was opening and creating 30 jobs in the collab, you might even have a minister up coming cutting the tape, right? And sometimes I think there's a little bit of a snobbery about really good local sustainable jobs, right? And to be employing 30 people, 30 mortgages potentially, 30 rents, 30 cars, whatever it might be. I mean, to be able to have a business that sustains you guys but also employs 30 people in this day and age, I think it's amazing, you know. I really do. And I sometimes don't think there's enough focus on that, personally, too, especially with locally owned, you know, small, medium, large-sized businesses.
Well, we're very lucky, Greg. Rachel and Laura now hire the staff and they hire good people, and we try to retain them as much as possible. That people move on and move to other jobs, but it's a responsibility on us to keep the business going and make it that they're secure in their jobs, and every day they come in that they know what they're coming into, and that they're happy to come to work, and that's what we work hard at that.
How do you work together, Rachel, right? The yin and the yang. Who's the person that's looking to go in and borrow €5 million to take over half Upper Main Street, and who's the one saying, "No, we're all right"?
That would be Ronan.
I didn't want to be sexist, but I guess that.
We're getting to.
But is that how, you know? I mean, we talk about everything, but about your partnership, right? Because this success is because you and Union work together, and there's always checks and balances in that. So what has worked so well in your business relationship, do you think, Rachel?
Well, I suppose our chores they're very divided. You know, Union looks after the people, the customers. He's on the floor. He's, you know, whereas I'm in the back office, and I deal a lot with the staff and the accounts end of it. So our roles are very different and very varied. Sometimes they overlap.
This sounds a little bit like, how is it successful? We stay out of each other's way. That's not the answer I was expecting.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's much more to it than that.
But family business is you know, and anybody who knows family business. Family business is tough in a way when everybody's working in family, because it can get very tense sometimes, because we all have different ideas, and it's brought home to the kitchen table. And what we're trying now is to get away from that. And but in the early days it was work. We talked about work all the time, and it sometimes tires you out. So now we've got a wee bit better structure.
To be honest, I think pressure is a privilege, though, because not everyone gets to enjoy it, you know, and it really is. People say you're under pressure. Well, pressure is a privilege. I'm so lucky to be in a position whereby you can have that, because so many people don't, and that's why I do see it as a privilege. A lot of people messaging about the little things that make an experience nice, that you don't see in all places but you see in yours. You know, topping up teapots, stuff like that. You know, and I think other businesses can learn from successful businesses like yours. The big stuff's great, but it's the little stuff that can make a difference too, Rachel.
Yeah, again, that's union,
Well,
mainly looking after the customers.
As we were in America, that was common in all the delis and restaurants and coffee shops that we went to. The top-ups were just taken as granted, so we started that, and that has been a great success.
It's just, again,
simple.
It's
treat.
simple but so effective. Yeah. Congratulations, Ewan and Rachel and all the team at Max Mace, a fantastic community hub where the top up of coffee is always welcome. I didn't see that before I read it. That's from James. Greg, could you wish Ewan and Rachel all the best from me? Two lovely people, worked hard, deserved everything they got. Ewan and me started school together. Great businessman. That comes in from Ewan McGee. Ewan McNamee. Yeah. Huge congratulations to Ewan and Rachel and family and staff members. Very well deserved. Wishing you many more years of continued success. The Finn family, Mountain Top. Best wishes to Rachel and Ewan from Dennis Sheridan. Congratulations to Ewan and Rachel and staff. Very well deserved. Brilliant establishment from the Henderson family in Letterkenny. They continue to come in. As I say, it's a lovely honour for you, and by all accounts, well deserved.
Yeah, there's a lot of people we'd like to thank.
Take your time. Go ahead, Rachel.
Where do I start? Well, first of all, our staff, have been with us and stood by us for many years and take great pride in what they do. Our customers, who have been very loyal over the years and very forgiving when we don't always get things right. I'd like to, as well, other business owners who have been great support to us over the years. The Local Enterprise Board, Michael Tunney, Yvonne McCarran, SkillsNet, Siobhan Grant, and also in recent times, Dervla, the ETB. They've been a huge help in helping us train our staff and, help us personally. We've had a network where we've done courses ourselves, and it's great to have somewhere like the Local Enterprise Board where we went and where we were able to kind of, have, if we had problems, we could sort them out with other business owners who are going through the same problems, And then more recently, obviously, we want to thank the Letterkenny Chamber, Tony Forrester and Jimmy Stafford for thinking of us, and the committee, and who worked very hard, and and we really appreciate the award.
Okay.
And then we would just like to thank, we get financial help in that from Cahal Ortiz, and then we have a fellow working every week with us, and he's in the background, Jared McKinley, and he keeps us to say, are we doing well this week, or we're not doing well next week, and we will have to work harder. So people like that, and good advice down the line from people like Michael Meehan and Seamus McGrory and all that. So it was a whole team effort, and anytime we always ask for help. That's one thing, we don't know it all. We ask for help all the time, whatever we're doing, and asking for advice.
Great food in Max. Love going there during my working years next door. Beautiful fresh food delivers every time. At a time of real difficulty, Ewan and his lovely wife went out of their way to provide soup and sandwiches to our home. The award they received is recognition of their hard work, but let's not forget the kind people that they are. We haven't forgotten them. They don't feel the need to put the name to it, but I think we all know perhaps what they're talking about. Both of you, thank you very much indeed. Continued success.
And thanks for the help, Greg.
And good luck getting out, Ewan. I don't think it's going to happen. All right, that's Ewan and Rachel McIntyre. We'll be back after the break.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Seasonal loans now available for Christmas. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
Support the Irish Red Cross Gaza Crisis Appeal now. By donating, you'll be directly helping the Red Cross provide emergency medical care and hygiene kits to thousands who are homeless, starving, sick and injured. I'm Ryan Tuberty. What's happening in Gaza is a humanitarian catastrophe. The people of Gaza need your help right now. Give them that help and donate at redcross.ie.
Nutria's Super Beef Gold ATP is now on promotion at your local Homeland store. Buy 10 bags, get one free, or get €15 off per tonne in bulk. Nutria's Super Beef Gold ATP delivers frame and thrive in all ages of cattle. Contact your local Homeland store or farm commercial specialist today. Visit nutrias.ie for full product details.
There's more to share at your Christmas party with Dunnes Stores. Mix and match 3 for 2 on a huge selection of party dishes, like our indulgent range of cheeses, and brand new options like chicken sliders, Bombay toasties, and frozen popcorn prawns or mac and cheese bites. And better yet, you can save more with your 5 off 25 voucher. Make Christmas for everyone at Dunn Stores. Terms and conditions apply. Vouchers can be used on next grocery shop.
Looking ahead to 2026? Now's the time to order your 261 Kia at Heron Auto, Donegal Town. With 5 brand new Kia models arriving, there's never been a better time to upgrade. With smart design, a 7-year warranty and finance starting from 0%, Kia delivers style, comfort and performance you can rely on. Visit Heron Auto, Donegal Town. Secure your 261 model today. Drive with confidence, drive with Heron Auto.
It's the Right Price Tiles wood flooring and bathware 70% off sale. Get up to 70% off all your purchases. Up to 70% off all tiles, all wood flooring, all bathware. Everything's reduced in store. The 70% off sale at Right Price Tiles wood flooring and bathware. Stores nationwide. Sale now on.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhinney's. Discover Christmas gift ideas for everyone on your list, from trending beauty to memorable Secret Santa gifts. Visit us in Ballybuffet to explore our extensive range of gifts or shop online at mcelhinney's.com today.
So today will be mainly cloudy with occasional brighter periods. There'll be rain or drizzle during the morning, but it will become drier for the rest of the day with just isolated showers. Highest temperatures of 7 to 10 degrees with moderate to northeasterly winds developing. Again, thanks so much to Ewan and Rachel McIntyre for calling in. And we've got more great conversation coming up in the next hour as we head towards the news headlines at 11.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Wrap up some Donegal love this Christmas with thoughtful, sustainable gifts made by the Donegal designer makers. Join us for our annual Christmas fair in Rathmullen House this Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. A weekend of festive food, drinks and stress-free gift shopping.
At Hidden Hearing, we believe you should keep hearing it all. Keep dancing. Keep celebrating. Keep laughing. Keep being you. Call 1-800-370-000 or go to hiddenhearing.ie and book a free hearing test today. Hidden Hearing. Your hearing is our expertise.
It's Boots' biggest ever Black Friday with huge savings on thousands of beauty must-haves, including better than half price on star gifts like No. 7, Lancome, MAC and many more. Don't miss out, shop now. And don't forget your Boots Advantage card. Selected stores and products subject to availability. Offer ends 24th December. Advantage card T's and C's apply.
Ní the hanúlathe technúla bháin atá AI, tá sé de chach. The Skills to Advance is féidir d'éisreacht the host of 3 AI micro-qualifications a oil. Den úsaloon de éireann chun AI a úsáid mars eticiúil. Anas go bhfuil sé níos targúla, níos nuálaí, agus go bhfuil an gnó ag dul an neart go neart. Leabhar de bhór didachas agus olúna áitiúil aniu, nó té chuig skillstoadvance.ie. Skills to Advance, ar na hacu ag solas agus ag rialtas na hÉireann.
Here, would you look at Eco Enda? He's only after going and getting himself one of the new Skoda EVs.
First he went vegan, then he got solar panels, now this.
I'm sure he'd buy anything as long as he can get a grant for it.
Must be from that county beside Monaghan.
The new fully electric Skoda range. The kind of cars that get the neighbours talking. But only if you're quick. Check availability at skoda.ie. Skoda, let's explore.
Skoda.
Your local Skoda dealer is DMG Motors, Clar Road, Donegal Town. Telephone 074 9721396.
Ho, 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 ho. Santa Claus speaking.
It's me, Santa, your trusty elf. I've got an urgent message from Cooney's Christmas shop.
Oh, my golly goodness. What's happening at Cooney's?
Well, Santa, they've gone all out this year. Their Christmas decor is bigger and better than ever.
Visit Cooney's Christmas shop, Letterkenny Retail Park, and feel the magic of Christmas. Santa approved.
The county's #1 talk show, The 9 till noon show on Highland Radio.
It is 11 o'clock, time for a news update, and it's good morning once again to Donald Kavanagh.
Thank you, Greg. Good morning. Bishop Niall Call is returning to his native Donegal to become Bishop of Raphoe. Bishop Call's appointment was confirmed by Pope Leo this morning. The diocese has been without a bishop since Bishop Al McGuckin was appointed to Down Conor last year. Bishop Call, who's from St Johnstone, was appointed Bishop of Ossory in Kilkenny in 2023. The Dáil's been told that Public School Cloghanile in Falcarra is in dire need of emergency works, but ultimately it requires a new school building. Deputy Pearse Doherty catalogued the issue at the school, saying it's a testament to the professionalism of the staff there that it manages to provide an excellent education. Junior Minister Hildegard Naughton confirmed emergency works applications are being considered, but she said the application for a new building will be judged against current demographics and future population trends. Police in Derry are currently at the scene of a security alert in the Naby Close and Berravale area of the city. Over 20 homes were evacuated shortly after midnight after 2 suspect devices were found in the area. The PSNI have since confirmed that those devices were viable. There is currently no access to Naby Close. The Gallia Community Centre has been opened as a respite centre for local people. Gardaí are continuing their investigations into a public order incident at a premises on the Letterkenny Road in Lifford last night. Gardaí say they received the report at approximately 9:15, but when members of the force attended the scene, those involved in the incident were not present. Investigations are ongoing. The government has published its latest action plan for housing. The Delivering Homes Building Community Plan aims to deliver 300,000 homes by 2030. That includes 72,000 social homes and 90,000 starter homes. The government says this isn't an upper limit, but a realistic projection of what's achievable. And a helpline is opened this morning for anyone impacted by what are described as serious and significant failures in safeguarding in the Presbyterian Church in Ireland. An internal investigation has identified situations between 2009 and 2022 where it failed to respond when people wanted help, and instances where offenders were inadequately monitored. They're the headlines. Back with more at 12 noon.
Thank you very much indeed, Donald. We'll go over to St Eugene's Cathedral now, where I believe that there's confirmation of Bishop Niall Call returning to County Donegal
to be Bishop of Raphoe.
So just literally the formal announcement of Bishop Niall Cole being appointed. That appointment was confirmed by Pope Leo this morning.
Bishop Call is well known to us. Hailing from St Johnstone, he was ordained a priest of this diocese in 1988. After completing his licentiate in dogmatic theology at the Gregorian University in Rome, he was appointed chaplain to St Eunan's College. Thereafter, he was engaged in teaching theology at Carlow College before returning to Rome to complete his doctorate in sacred theology in the field of Christology, once more from the Gregorian University. He returned to the diocese to minister in Dunloe, both as curate and as chaplain to Pobl Scoil na Rossan. In 2001, he was appointed Professor of Religious Studies and Religious Education at St Mary's University College, Belfast. Returning to full-time parish ministry, he was appointed parish priest of Ballantrae in 2020 and thereafter parish priest of Donegal Town in 2021, before his appointment on the 28th of October 2022 as Bishop of Ossory, with its seat in the city of Kilkenny. Bishop Call comes to us with a distinguished ministry in teaching and accompanying the young, ministering in the parishes of our diocese, engaging in the fields of theology, academics, and ecumenical dialogue. His commitment to and vision for Catholic education allow him to speak constructively to the changing landscape of education in our own country, while he offers a prophetic word of reflection both to the community of believers and to secular society concerning the life of faith and the health of our wider community. I am also conscious that at a personal level, Bishop Niall's return to Donegal will be a matter of great consolation to his mother Kathleen and to his immediate and extended family. Kathleen, you are most welcome, and we extend also to you our heartfelt congratulations, and we remember your late husband Willie. May he rest in peace. Bishop Call, you represent the most distinguished achievements of this presbyterate of Raphoe. We are proud of your committed and intelligent ministry, and now, by the grace of God and the favour of the Apostolic See, of having you as our bishop.
We're just taking some coverage from St. Eunan's Cathedral. You're hearing the voice there of Father Kevin Gillespie as he formally welcomes Bishop Niall Cole as Bishop of Raphoe. We can now listen to the new Bishop from Raphoe live from St. Eunan's Cathedral.
Dear people, religious and priests of the Diocese of Raphoe, it is with deep gratitude that I return home to serve as Bishop of Raphoe. As Father Kevin just said, the diocese where I was born, baptised and ordained to the priesthood. To be called back to the place and people who first formed my faith is both humbling and deeply moving. From my earliest days, the faith and love I experienced in my family home in St. Johnstone have shaped every step of my journey. I think today with special affection of my mother Kathleen, whose love and deep faith continues to be a source of strength and encouragement, and of my late father Willie, whose example of quiet integrity, humour and trust in God left a mark that remains with me always. I am blessed also by the constant love and support of my sisters, my brother, my wider family and many friends, whose loyalty and kindness have accompanied me throughout every step of life and ministry. To return to Raphoe, the diocese that first formed me, is both humbling and profoundly moving. It was here that I first learned what faith looks like when it is lived day by day in families, in schools, in parishes, and in the generous witness of so many lay faithful, priests and religious. I wish to acknowledge with heartfelt gratitude my predecessors who have shaped this diocese with faith and dedication. Most recently, Bishop Alan McGuckian, whose energy and selfless spirit of service have left its mark. And before him, Bishop Philip Boyce, here present, whose years of prayerful service and gentleness of spirit are still warmly remembered. I also remember with gratitude the late Bishop Seamus Hegarty and Bishop Anthony McFeely, whose faithful leadership and steady dedication helped to shape the life of this diocese in their time. I want too to acknowledge Monsignor Kevin Gillespie, who has so ably and faithfully served as diocesan administrator since Bishop McGuckian's transfer to Down-on-Conor almost 2 years ago. He has carried that responsibility with steadiness, discretion, and generosity, ensuring that the pastoral and spiritual life of the diocese has continued without interruption. For the past 3 years, I have had the privilege of serving as Bishop of Ossory. The priests, religious, and people of that diocese welcomed me with warmth and trust, and I have learned much from their faith, their generosity, and their resilience in facing the challenges of our time. Of course, my knowledge of hurling tested their patience there. I leave Ossory with deep affection and gratitude, and with friendships that I will always treasure. As I return now to Raphoe, I do so as one who was ordained a priest of this diocese 37 years ago on this very ground in this sanctuary. I carry with me immense respect for the priests of Raphoe, for their faithfulness, their pastoral care, their humour, and their dedication to the people they serve. I am also deeply grateful to the parishes where I was privileged to minister in earlier years. The people of those parishes taught me the meaning of priesthood and discipleship, not in theory, but through their faith, kindness, and friendship.
And that was the newly appointed Bishop of Raphoe, Bishop Niall Cole. He returns to Donegal, of course, and we'll be getting more reaction to this from St. Eunan's Cathedral in a moment, but we do have to take a quick break.
Text or WhatsApp your view to Greg on 086 60 25,000.
We all tend to put things off, but some things are too important to leave until tomorrow, like your hormonal health and fertility. At Irish Life Health, we make it easy to start today as the first health insurer to offer access to an advanced at-home fertility check. Search Irish Life Health. A better life with Irish Life. Female fertility assessment and consultation available on all health insurance hospital plans. Terms and conditions apply. Irish Life Health DAC is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
086 60 25,000 is our WhatsApp and text number, 086 60 25,000, or you can give us a call alternatively on 07491 25,000. Crossing over to our journalist from the newsroom, Donna Marie Doherty. Good morning to you, Donna Marie. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Fred. Can you hear me okay there?
Yes, loud and clear. We'll just crack straight on. So, we've just been taking some of the live feed from St. Eunan's Cathedral. We were expecting a new bishop, but this seemed to happen quite quickly.
It has, and I have to say there's quite the crowd here. A lot of local schools have come in to see the new Bishop Cole. I suppose step in now to his new role, and you can see we had a few latecomers just as we were waiting to get chatting to you there, and it was the same feeling every time. A lot of people very excited to see a local man from the diocese now to head the way as bishop. As we know, Bishop Cole is a Raphoe man, and he's the eldest of 4 children, so he'll be able to bring that sense of family and belonging that is, I suppose, crucial to the role, and people here, the locals here, are very excited about it.
Yes, and you could hear from his comments that he enjoyed his previous 3 years as Bishop of Ossory, but a very welcome return home as well. This is where on the very altar he stands now is where I believe he was ordained, and it's a full circle moment.
Oh, yeah. And that is the thing, there is nothing like coming home. And I suppose whenever you enter the priesthood, it is sort of part and parcel. You don't quite know where you're going to end up. So to be able to take on such an honour of being bishop for your own community, I doubt there'd be nothing that really would compare to it. And he was speaking there about how the rugged landscape of Donegal shaped him and how he wants to bring this in now to his new position.
Yes, and he also was full of praise of Father Kevin Gillespie, who has stood in over the last number of years and by all accounts has done a very good job in that. But there was some question marks about whether or not, as part of a rationalisation, Raphoe would get another bishop, but today confirms that. So that's good news for Catholics.
It certainly is. And there is always, I feel like there's, in more recent years, been growing question marks over the priesthood and, numbers that are becoming available for that. So days like today is good for people who practice. It's a good reassurance that, the faith is still alive and that, it's great that we have such availability that people can come back to their home parishes.
All right, brilliant stuff. Thanks so much, Donna Marie. Donna Marie will be capturing the audio and the visuals of all of that to cover it on our news bulletins a little later on. But just as a nice convenience of timing, we were able to bring you that announcement of Bishop Niall Cole's appointment, but also his first comments as the newly appointed Bishop of Raphoe. And he was appointed by, of course, the Pope. Because that's how it's all done, isn't it? Pope Leo. this morning, appointed him, and then you heard him on the radio a couple of moments later. Okay, we're going to be joined in studio by our next guest after these.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today.
If you know the beauty and skincare product that suits you best, you'll find them at McGee's Chemist Letterkenny. From moisturisers, cleansers and toners to day creams and night creams, McGee's have the top brands you know and love, like Lancôme, Clarins and La Roche-Posay. Also Elizabeth Arden, Vichy, Nukes and many more. All at McGee's Chemist, Main Street, Letterkenny and online at mcgees.ie, where the best costs less.
It's time to celebrate the season in style at McGettigan's Hotel, Main Street, Letterkenny. Join us for the ultimate Christmas party night with a sparkling drinks reception, delicious 4-course festive meal, live band and DJ to keep you dancing till late. All for just €44.95. Whether it's friends, family or colleagues, make it a night to remember at McGettigan's Hotel. Book now. Call 074 91 22066 or visit mcgettiganshotel.com.
TFI Local Link operates evening and weekend services throughout rural Ireland to help you stay connected 7 days a week. We know life doesn't just happen 9 to 5, so if you're commuting, shopping, visiting family or going out in the evenings or on the weekends, let TFI Local Link take you there. Visit transportforireland.ie.
Cooking up cosy meals all the way to Christmas. That's more to value. With Lidl Plus, hearty and wholesome board BA-proof chicken fillets, 1 kilogram, were $9.99, now $8.49. And Pinot Noir Marlborough, 20% off, now $7.99. Lidl, more to value. Get the facts, be drink aware, visit drinkaware.ie.
Ready to upgrade your car? At Shane Conley Cars in Donegal Town, we've got a great selection of makes and models to suit every budget. With flexible finance option and trade-ins welcome, upgrading has never been easier. Visit ShaneConleyCars.com or call in to see us at Shane Conley Cars, Drumlonagher, Donegal Town.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
The time now is 11:17 and I'm joined in studio now by a gentleman who I've spoken to in the past and I'm very pleased to have in front of me today. It's Terry Doherty. Terry, thank you so much for calling in.
Greg, thank you so much for having me on your show.
Yes.
I'm still coming down from the dizzy heights of yesterday
imagine,
and
I
the
can imagine.
experience.
And we'll talk through that, but I just don't want to presume that everybody knows the family story, if that's okay. And I know you spoke to us in great detail some time ago about your brother John Doherty. He was a Royal Ulster Constabulary Detective Constable. And talk us through, those horrible events of the 28th of October 1973. So a little bit about your brother and what happened to him.
Well, if I just could go back 57 years ago, Greg.
Okay.
When John left our humble abode in rural Donegal and went to serve with the London Metropolitan Police, then transferred to the Ulster Constabulary, Royal Ulster Constabulary, and I would say that there's not too many police officers have served with both forces,
No, I'd
and
imagine
that's
so,
that's
yeah.
his claim to fame. And on Sunday the 20th of October, he visited our widowed mother and was ambushed by terrorists and died as a result of serious injuries.
What do you know about that in terms of it wasn't necessarily a scheduled visit? Did you ever learn as to how it was known he would be there at that time?
Well, there was one particular person that never left our road, and I actually know his nickname.
Well, we'll not mention it if you don't mind, but I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, and he was one of the chief instigators, and we had known him for many years, and he had relatives living locally to us, but he didn't visit the relatives. It was just to see if John's car was in the yard at our home.
So effectively, if it was being scouted, I imagine that it must have been the case that as soon as his vehicle is spotted, there's a plan, and that plan would be...
Yeah, it was a very distinctive red Capri, Ford Capri,
Right.
beautiful. In those days, the Capri had the vinyl roof.
Yeah.
And John loved his cars. And again, I received an invitation on the 23rd of October to attend a presentation in Windsor Castle, which was a great honour.
Now, this was Britain's King Charles presenting Elizabeth emblems to the next of kin of former police officers and other public servants who died in the line of duty. Was there any sort of rumblings over the years that such an invitation would be given to your family?
No, you applied to investiture office in Windsor Castle.
Okay.
And then you received the invitation. And that from the application to the invitation was probably in the region of about 4 months. And as you can understand, to arrange these presentations, it takes quite a bit of organisation. And when we gathered there in the castle yesterday with other families, other bereaved families, and there were many there that I met at previous remembrance service and functions, and there's a great friendship built up within the police family, and John will never be forgotten.
Is that why it was important for you to pursue this, so that he would never be forgotten? He would never be forgotten by family, but this means that his service will formally never be forgotten.
That is correct, yeah. John's name will never be forgotten. And on Sunday next will be another remembrance service in Omagh, where John will be honoured and remembered with his fallen colleagues from the Tyrone and Omagh district. And we will be attending that as well with family members. And the numbers there yesterday, you're allowed to take one other person, and will they accompany me to the castle? And when we gathered in the castle, there was great anticipation as to who would be doing the presentation. And there were some names of members of the royal family mentioned. But then word filtered through that it was going to be His Majesty the King. And what an honour to be there. And when John's name was announced within the walls of the castle, it was just very emotional. And when the King did approach us to do the presentation, you felt so relaxed.
So he physically actually makes the presentation to you?
He does, yeah.
Right, okay.
And he also informed me that he had visited Mullaghmore, where his favourite uncle was murdered by terrorists, Lord Louis Mountbatten. And Lord Louis Mountbatten was the King's favourite uncle, although he was Prince Charles in those years. And very, very, very easy to talk to and relaxed.
So he personalised the conversation. It wasn't just, oh, there you are.
Oh.
Because it's not, I don't know, how long ago was it since he visited Donegal as well? He visited, I think it was at the same time, he did a tour of Donegal town and what have you. I was down at that for Highland at the time. It was a big deal, obviously.
Yeah, it was a great honour to be there. And he spent so much time. It was no rushed thing. He spent so much time actually talking to the people.
How many of the Elizabeth emblems were handed out on the day?
Well, there was approximately 30 recipients there yesterday.
Right, okay. So it's not a huge number, so it afforded him time then.
Well, he had a previous investiture ceremony in another part of the castle. So again, probably that was why it was limited to numbers. And there'll be many more will receive the same honour as we received yesterday.
Yeah.
And if I just could go back to 2023 and what followed the memorial service in the cemetery in Castlefin.
Can you remind listeners of that, if you don't mind, Terry? Because that is the reason we had the conversation with you the last time.
On the 20th of October 2023, there was a remembrance service held in the cemetery in Castlefin, and a memorial stone with John's name was placed on the grave along with a poppy wreath. And the clergy were there to represent both sides of the community. And approximately a week after it, the stone was stolen and vandalised along with a poppy wreath and propaganda. And those spineless individuals that I refer to thought that they were promoting their propaganda, it worked in reverse, because the Doherty family handed over the memorial stone to Kenny Donaldson, who works with SEF. SEF is the South East Fermanagh Foundation, who represent all victims of the Troubles. And a group of ladies within the group make beautiful quilts and all victims' names and details are added to the quilts, but no victim name will be added to the quilt without the family's permission. And there's massive, beautiful quilts. And now Kenny Donaldson has travelled the country with the vandalised memorial stone and the quilts. And I'm glad to say John is also on one of those quilts. Now, the number of people that have seen the vandalised stone, numerous. And the last time I spoke with Kenny, he told me that they had taken the stone into a convent in Dublin. So it brought John more into the limelight, if that's the proper word, than the spineless individuals that actually vandalised the stone with their propaganda.
Yeah, indeed. Can I have a look at that Elizabeth emblem? I might show the listeners that are watching, if you don't mind. Do you mind if I handle it? Or
no,
are you sure? Okay, there you go. Because I do know it's of incredible significance to you. So that is it. That's going to take pride of place then, no doubt whatsoever. Yeah. Okay.
What we have here now, Greg, is priceless. And I or Willie won't live forever, and this will be handed down, and the younger generation will carry the baton or the torch, because John's name will be illuminated.
Yeah.
And like the saying goes, even the darkest night cannot extinguish the light of a single candle. And famous words, strong towers may decay, but a good name never fades away. So
it's a remarkable. What is this meaning to you? We talked. Sometimes when, say for instance, there's an incident and someone's found responsible, and people talk of closure or what have you. Is there obviously, Terry, you've expressed the emotion of the fact that this enshrines your brother John into history and that he'll never be forgotten. Yeah. Is there a meaning beyond that? That's a huge meaning, don't get me wrong, but is there a meaning beyond that has you so full of joy with almost a perpetual smile on your face?
Well, yesterday with the crowning glory, that's the proper words, the crowning glory, when His Majesty stepped forward to present me with the emblem to honour John. A day never to be forgotten. I take that day to my grave with me. And if I could mention a wonderful lady who has befriended the family recently and who invited me to the Guildhall in Derry, Londonderry, last Friday to meet bereaved families and talk with them. And that lady is the Reverend Marlene Scouse. And Marlene Scouse is the Methodist minister in the church in Railway Street in Strabane, a wonderful lady. Yeah.
Okay, thanks Terry for calling in. I appreciate it. And
my pleasure.
I'm glad this has brought you so much joy, and it was such a high for you yesterday, and we appreciate you coming in so soon after.
Thank you very much, Greg. Thank you for having me on your show.
Terry Doherty there.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook and at highlandradio.com. The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
There's any number of new cars out there, but do the numbers add up? With the stylish Peugeot 2008, Fastback 3008 and spacious 5008 electric and hybrid range, they really do. Enjoy a €500 Dunnes Stores gift card, a 5-year unlimited mileage warranty, and for electric cars we'll add a free 3-year service plan and a home charger. Order your 261 Peugeot today at McGinley Motors, your main Peugeot dealer in County Donegal. Offer ends December 31st. Terms and conditions apply.
At Super Value, make it a Christmas with a difference. With 33% off fresh salmon darns. With real rewards, get Ariel and Fairy laundry and cleaning ranges, just 2 for €16. Villa Maria and Campo Viejo wine cases, now €50 each. Plus, check your Real Rewards app for vouchers and make it a Christmas with a difference at Super Value. Please drink responsibly.
Shop Homeland's mega deals now until November 21st. Save 25% off Dulux Easy Care, Vinyl Mat and Soft Sheen 2.5 litre and 5 litre sizes. Jefferson 3 kilowatt petrol generator now €499, save €100. All this and more in store and online at homeland.ie.
From the morning routines to cosy family moments, Grant has been bringing comfort to homes for over 45 years. With our biofuel-compatible condensing boilers, heat pumps and underfloor heating, you can trust Grant to heat your home now and into the future. Think heating, think Grant. Visit grant.ie.
They're back after yet another sellout show. It's Mac Fleetwood, live at Angrinnan Theatre, Letterkenny on Saturday, 6th of December. Experience the magic and the music with hits like Go Your Own Way, Dreams, The Chain and Rhiannon. Mac Fleetwood bring you an unforgettable night of Fleetwood Mac classics. Tickets on sale now at angrinnan.com. Presented by Joe Gallagher Entertainments.
Looking for a nearly new 2025 model without the new car price? At iMotors, our demo and nearly new cars have little to no mileage, and you'll save thousands versus the new price. Fantastic cars, fantastic savings. Visit imotors.ie or drop by today and drive away a deal you'll love. iMotors, fearless generation.
When we were over in London for the London Vintage Show, we got a chat with Seamus Carr. And we were talking about his achievements and his life in Donegal and all that, which was great. But I wanted to catch up with him again because he's formally been announced as the Donegal London Person of the Year. Good morning, Seamus.
Good morning, Greg.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling not too bad. Apologies, I've got a touch of a cold at the moment. I'm just trying to shake it off. But
well,
overall,
everyone
pretty good.
in Donegal has it at the moment, Seamus. Everyone's got sore ears, sore throats, coughs, splutters. It's just going around. The big night now is the Hilton Hotel, Wembley, on Saturday, the 22nd of November, where you're going to receive the honour of Donegal London Person of the Year from the association's annual dinner dance. Are you looking forward to it, Seamus?
Yeah, I'm especially looking forward to it. All right, yes, it's getting exciting now because we're coming close to the time, and just organising my family and friends coming over from Ireland, different parts, and yes, looking forward to it. All right.
My invitation yet to come in for some reason. I don't know. I go to London every year, but nope, Seamus, nothing yet. It's probably too late, but anyway, not from you. I mean, from the association. Come here till I ask. Come here.
Yes.
You've done really well for yourself, and you have through your own life, and you were always a grafter, weren't you? And you started off in trades, really, Seamus.
I did, yes. I did. I started off in trades and went to school with my twin brother to Falcara College after leaving school in Minanary National School. I was in Carrick first, but Dad moved us all up to, he was a teacher, and he moved us a headmaster in Minanary National School. And he took the five of us up to continue to run a two-teacher school in Minanary. And from there, my twin brother and I, Padraig, went to Falcara College, but I didn't particularly get on that well there. And after 3 years, I left and went to Sligo, to the regional college in Sligo, where I did mechanical work and enjoyed that. And in the meantime, then I usually playing football and stuff like that there, but overall, I went from there then to with the Donegal team for a short period of time, and then I headed over to London then afterwards because my dad, unfortunately, we were 15, and unfortunately he got a stroke at 15 and never spoke again. And Mum looked after him for 8 years, and after that then he passed away, and unfortunately Mum only lived 18 months after that. And yeah, so that
I just want to go back. I just want to go back to your Donegal career. Sorry, because you brushed over it there. I just want to mention that you played for Donegal in '79 and got all the way to the Ulster final. Unfortunately, that wasn't United, but you brushed over that a little bit. So to give you your dues. So following the illness and your dedication of your mum and her sad passing, was that sort of like a catalyst for maybe a change of scenery, and what drew you to London?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just got tired of doing mechanical work, and I enjoyed it all right for a while. But then I got a phone call. As an actual fact, I met a fella called Seamus Mullen in Donegal town, and he said, "I heard you're thinking of coming over," and I said, "Possibly, yeah." And then he put me in contact with a guy from Clare called Franklin, who was starting a big job, Stoke Mandeville Hospital, and where even Brendan Vaughan was there, along with a good number of Donegal players who came over. 4 or 5 of us came over, and we started working there. And it just took off from that there, really. I met up with Tim Kelly, who had a flat in Kilburn, or Hampstead, Messina Avenue. And he was very accommodating as always, and I stayed in that flat with Tim and Seamus for a period of time.
Which is quite a remarkable little room, that, given the success that come from it. Obviously, Tim Kelly has gone on to be hugely successful, as have you. The third gentleman I'm not familiar with and how things fared for him. But I mean, that was some flat. It's produced some success, hasn't it, Seamus?
Well, it has a bit of history behind it, all right. That's true, yes, indeed.
The flat of dreams, we'll call it, won't we?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
We're in the same timeline where you met your beautiful wife, Breed, as well. Did you meet her in London? I know she was working in Great Ormond Street in London, caring for sick children. Did you meet her in London, or did you reconnect in London, or what?
No, Breed Hegarty, as her maiden name was. She was from Mallinmore, Glenconnemkill, and she trained in the Mater in Dublin, and I met her, got to know her very well around 1978, 79, when in Donegal, when we were playing football and stuff like that there. And then I moved over to London first, and then she got a job in Great Ormond Street then, and she arrived over, and she became a clinical nurse, a clinical nurse specialist in Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital then. And you
and Breed had a stint then in New York, and it was just a stint. What brought you over there, and I suppose what brought you back so quickly?
Well, it's just the fact that before she became a clinical nurse specialist in the Great Ormond Street, she was working in Great. She had a different job in the hospital, and in the meantime, I knew there was a few guys over in New York, and I wanted to go over to see what it was like, and so I headed off myself the first year I was there, and then she came out for the second year or so, and in the meantime we had a great time there. Met a lot of friends, lots from Donegal, from all over Ireland really in a sense, and they're still great friends to us today, and went from there then. Great Ormond Street rang Breed to ask her if she'd come back and there's a new job in the ward in Great Ormond Street, and she said yes, she'd like to go back. So that's really why we came back earlier than we expected to come back, but I think we made the right decision really at that particular time. So we just came back, and we raised three children then, Christina, Anna and Tom here in London, and they're great friends, they're great children. Obviously, they're big now and a whole lot, but thank God everything's going so well from there anyway.
Now, very sadly, if we fast forward to 2011, you lost your wife, Breed, to ovarian cancer, and unfortunately, efforts to detect it were missed on 2 occasions before it was caught. And I know in your conversations with Breed, firstly, like we all would, she wanted you to make sure the kids were well looked after, and you fulfilled that commitment to her. But I know she also pressed on you the importance of, when you had an opportunity, highlighting ovarian cancer. So she was incredibly thoughtful in that period, obviously thinking on her family, but also too, if there were any opportunities to reach other women, in conversation, that you were to try and do that for her.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she was all right. That's the 2 things she asked me to do: look after the children and highlight ovarian cancer. And Rosemary, her sister, was behind us all the way, and helping Mike and the family. And and that's what we started doing. We started doing some fundraising, and I have to say that we got remarkable support from all parts of Donegal, London, and I could start with Chicago Gales Club, Donegal Association, Donegal Golf Society, Fern Valley Athletic Club, Donegal Gaelic Association, Coke Park, Harvey's Point, as well as even Hegarty's and Carrick in the bar in Carrick there. And just a fantastic amount of money we raised, and Cancer Cork in the Cork Cancer Research in Cork were very, very helpful in the whole way straight through with Dr. Sharon McKenna and a few others there, and it went very well up to now anyway, and I'm just continuing to do that now at the moment. In actual fact, there's another angle to it now because of sorry, there's a call coming through, but there's no problem. In the meantime, 2 years after Breach passed away, we were doing a job down at Heathrow Airport, and the project manager on the job asked us all to come up to a room, and I said, well, what do you want to do? He says, I want to check you guys for drinking drugs. And I says, you're wasting your time. And he says, no, I have to check you all. And so happened that I was the only one he called back to say that I better go to the doctor. I have a problem. And it turned out that I had well advanced prostate cancer. I was one of those people who did not have any symptoms of any description. So I went to the hospital in Chelsea, Westminster, where my good friend Michael Deneen, consultant neurologist there, and he said, you're very lucky it's touching a vital organ. So, and I says, I don't want to know anymore. Do whatever you have to do. And lucky enough, so far, I was down with him yesterday, actual fact, getting my blood tested every 6 months now for the rest of my life. But so far, so good. It's coming back very, very low, my numbers. So if anybody's listening there to me that knows me, I would like them to just think, if you're over 50 years of age, to go and have a PSA blood test. And just go and have one anyway, and at least they know how you're fixed. It gives you the comfort of knowing that you're okay, but unfortunately there'll be some who will not be okay, but the sooner they get it, the better.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's one of the I would like to make anyway, Greg,
Yeah, and I think obviously, throughout your life and career, you've never forgotten your roots to Donegal. I know you, like so many others, Tim Kelly and ETC, never forget where they came from and support charities or send money back when they can as well. So listen, we wish you the very best for the Hilton Hotel Wembley on Saturday the 22nd of November. I'm sure it's going to be a lovely night, Seamus.
Hopefully. I'm disappointed you're not coming, Greg.
Well, you could get Tim to pick me up at that airport in Fermanagh. I don't know. Maybe Highland was invited and I haven't been invited. I don't know, Seamus. I was going to be there to have a Guinness with you, but it looks like I'll be watching from afar.
I would look forward to having you there. But before I go, if I'm leaving now, I would really like to thank the Donegal Association here in London, and also everybody in the committee there. They're doing tremendous work over the years. I'd just like to add another thing to it, is I didn't know it until very recently that the first Donegal Man of the Year was done in Dublin, and the person to receive it was Father McDyer, who I used to clerk Mass for. So it's unbelievable that poor Father McDyer was a great man, and so nicely. I know it's in London, that started in Dublin, but Tony McFadden and his committee then, fair play to them, they continued it now in London. So it's a lovely, and I'm very humble and to be offered this award, on behalf of the family and everybody else.
Deserved. And Wee Rosa Bridget, we didn't get a mention for Wee Rosa yet, I don't think.
All right, that my granddaughter.
We'll give Wee Rosa Bridget a shout out as well, who's also carrying the memory of her granny as well too, which is lovely. Best wishes to you, Seamus. Best wishes to all the family.
Great, thank you very, very much, and best wishes to you all also.
Look after yourself. Take care, Seamus. Seamus Carr there. 08660 25,000 is the WhatsApp and text, and it's been a day of recognising people who are being remembered or who have been achieved, and some of it's coincidental that it all happens on the same day. And our guests, Rachel and Ewan, very popular from Mace, Can you please say congratulations and thank you to Rachel and Ewan from all the ladies in St Mary's Hall Convoy. Kay and Eamon Doherty want to wish Ewan and Rachel well. Congratulations, folks, from the Flood family in Ardra, Columkill, Letterkenny. Congratulations, Ewan and Rachel. The reason I go in there is because of the top-ups. P.S. Ewan has an All-Ireland medal too from 1982. Thanks, John, for that. Yeah, the top-ups. It's the simple things that can mean so much. Kay and Eamon Doherty want to wish Eamon and Rachel well, and I've read that one as well. That's a double up there. Listen, that's fantastic. Loads of lovely wishes, good wishes coming in for Seamus as well. Seamus Carr, another Carrick man, doing very well for himself and has for years over in London town. Right, we'll be back with more after we take a quick break.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
Your vaccines give your immune system the top-up it needs to help protect you from serious illness. A flu vaccine is recommended if you're 60 or over, a healthcare worker, pregnant, or have a long-term health condition. A COVID-19 vaccine is also recommended if you're 60 or over or have a long-term health condition. Add a vaccine to your to-do list and help protect you and your family in the months ahead. Talk to a participating GP or pharmacist or visit hsc.ie for more. From the HSC.
Looking for a getaway this winter? Whether it's winter sun, a city break, Christmas markets, or hitting the ski slopes, Belfast International Airport has you covered. Check out our exciting winter schedule and start planning your next adventure. And don't forget, pre-book your car parking and save at belfastairport.com.
Introducing Flow for Men, my new fragrance collection of products created to keep you feeling fresh and looking sharp. The ideal gift for the man in your life. Find Flow in pharmacies nationwide or online at flowbybogue.com. Start every day with confidence.
Entitlements scrapped in next cap. In this week's Irish Farmers Journal, how sweeping cap reforms could see a complete upheaval of farm payments and impact the land rental market. Acres payments hit farmer accounts, plans progress to cut farm inspections, plus our special on the Carrick Winter Fair. Get these stories and more straight to your doorstep with an Irish Farmers Journal home delivery subscription. Sign up today and get a free farm bucket full of Irish Farmers Journal merchandise. Visit ifj.ie/bucket.
The Ready Set Ford 261 sales event is on this November. Discover incredible savings across Ford's electrified range, from the sleek Puma Gen E and versatile Kuga plug-in hybrid to the adventurous Explorer and iconic Capri. With prices from just €28,900, there's never been a better time to drive a new Ford. Visit Ford.ie or your local dealer by 30th of November. Ready, Set, Ford. T's and C's apply. Price excludes delivery and dealer-related charges and includes grant and VRT relief. See Ford.ie for details.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Discover Christmas gift ideas for everyone on your list, from trending beauty to memorable Secret Santa gifts. Visit us in Ballybuffet to explore our extensive range of gifts or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
Yes, indeed. Loads of you also messaging in congratulating Seamus Carr, that event in the Hilton Hotel Wembley on Saturday the 22nd of November. I'm sure everyone there will have a lovely night. The weather today will be mainly cloudy with occasional bright periods. There'll be rain or drizzle during the morning, but it will become drier for the rest of the day with just isolated showers and temperatures of 7 to 10 degrees. Now, we're joined on the programme by Councillor Fionnán Bradley. Good morning, Fionnán. How are you getting on?
Good morning, Greg, and good morning to all your listeners.
It is good to have you with us. Right, the Taoiseach has once more committed to the restoration of town councils. I didn't hear that. So tell us, what has he committed to and when?
Well, the Taoiseach was answering a question in the Dáil Chamber yesterday morning from Tipperary TD Seamus Healy in relation to town councils and their restoration. And in fairness to the Taoiseach, he was opposed to their abolition back in 2014. And really since that time, he has consistently called for their restoration. I suppose we're nearer to that possibility than ever now with the establishment at the start of this year of the Local Democracy Task Force. So that comprises councillors and civil servants and LAMA and the ALG. They would all have representation on that. That body is due to report to the Minister for Housing and Local Government, as far as I'm aware, by February of 2026. And I would be very, very hopeful indeed that within their report they will recommend the re-establishment of town
The
councils in.
re-establishment of the town councils as we know them, like, Bundoran, Ballyshannon, Buncrana, but there are arguments now for a Dunlow Parish Council or a Donegal Town Parish Council or a Carndonagh Parish Council. At this point, is it a restoration of the councils that one existed? Surely the demographics and clientele and Letterkenny, sorry, I didn't mention Letterkenny. Surely the demographics and what have you means that it's not just a case of putting back in what was there once there, but to see where the need's greatest.
Oh, absolutely, Greg. And in fairness, I don't honestly think anybody is calling for that. There are certain towns that had a town council for historical reasons, but they had very, very small populations, and other towns never had one, such as Swords, for example, in North County Dublin. But I mean, it's plain, in my opinion, to be seen that since their abolition, most towns that did have them are doing less well off. I mean, if you take the politics out of it and look at it mathematically, Buncrana used to have between 10 and 11 councillors representing it. It had 9 town councillors, and it usually had 1 or 2 or sometimes 3 county councillors in Lifford. Now Buncrana has 3 councillors representing it. That's at the municipal district and at county council level. So it's very obvious that when you have 10, 11 or 12 voices all shouting maybe for the same thing, that a town the size of Buncrana or Letterkenny or your bigger population centres, they will get their fair share of the pie then. But also, I might add, it would free up resources at a county level for the smaller towns, the smaller villages and the rural areas to get the funding and the development they also need, but that maybe hasn't been called for as loudly because of the municipal district structure where most of the services end up being focused on the bigger towns and villages.
Yeah, okay. It just would be very interested. I think I don't think I think we need to examine where they go. Personally speaking, I mean, say for instance, to look at Ballyshannon, I'm not saying it doesn't need its own town council, but I think that's a very different town post bypass in terms of population. Say for instance, a Donegal town, council. For me personally, if you were to pick one from both of those towns, for an example, would make more sense. I think the argument for Buncrana to retain it and Letterkenny would be very strong, but there is, I think, potentially even a strong argument for one in the west of the county as well. Will this all be, as far as you're aware, and you've answered to this to some extent, on the table?
Oh, nothing is off the table as far as I'm aware, Greg. I did read the terms of reference of the Local Democracy Task Force at the time it was set up. And yeah, it was left wide open to them to make any recommendation or any decision they so wish. And ultimately, the final say will be with the Minister and indeed with the government. But yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to a new town council in any of the places that you mentioned. I really would advocate for them because I really do know the benefit of them when they were established. And as I've said, it's so plain to be seen now to the detriment of the areas that did have them, how they've slipped backwards since the abolition of their town councils.
Yeah, all right. Listen, thanks very much indeed for your time. It is appreciated. That's Councillor Fionn Bradley, who is a Fianna Fáil councillor in Inishowen as well. Have you any appetite to see the return of town councils? If so, would you like to see one in your area, either returned or located too? Best wishes to Rachel and Ewan McIntyre from the ladies of St Mary's Hall Convoy. I think I read that one already. A late request here. Would it be possible to say a big happy birthday on Highland today for Michael McDade, Milltown Buncrana, who is 80 today, from his family? Of course it would. Happy birthday to you, Michael. Right, some other comments coming in. Greg, can you please clear up something for us? E-scooters, are they supposed to be in the path of the road? They are supposed to be on the road. They should not be on footpaths, and it is a €50 fine if the guard so wants, by the way. So that e-scooters are not permitted on footpaths. They're not permitted on any areas like pedestrianised areas. They must be on the road. If everyone used e-scooters on the bicycle lanes, it would get crowded and block each other like cars. I don't think we'll ever get to that point. I think if everyone in a car got onto a scooter and then tried to use a specific lane, it could be problematic, but no. Are these e-scooter people insured to operate a motorised vehicle? I think the government's losing out here. No, e-scooters are treated in that way the exact same as a push bike is. So it's not on the cards. Driving on the dual carriageway about a week ago, a Garda car came along with the siren, put 18 cars up on the footpath so they could get through. The footpath was empty. Wondered why Gardaí didn't mount the footpath instead of making all the cars mount the curb. Well, it's the emergency vehicle, and it's us that must get out of its way. I think I know the point you're making, but I mean, the logical, it doesn't matter if it's whatever it is, we need to get out of their way, don't we? The new housing plan, delivering homes, building communities, will aim to build 300,000 houses by 2030. 72,000 of these, will be social housing units. This is the fourth housing plan to be launched in 10 years. This is nothing more than a joke. We all know it will not be delivered. But as I say, I can be cynical and what have you, but I would love to see it delivered. And I like some of the terminology about getting addressing homelessness specifically, which is not just always simply providing a room or a house. Homelessness can be quite complex at times. There can be other issues going on, some co-issues that need to be addressed as well. But we shouldn't have people homeless in this country. We have the resources, we just need the will. So hopefully the government achieves that. Yes, it's true, reflooding, and yet the council ignores people's complaints for years. Special areas of conservation and salmon rivers are being polluted, but neither the council or Uisce Éireann will spend the money to repair these systems. On costs, Greg, I'm in the building industry. I'm always surprised at the lack of people in hardware stores in Donegal. This is because they're buying their needs in the north because they don't have to pay VAT on it. Then coming here and adding the VAT cost to the people they are working for. It's very unfair rip-off of people already struggling. There's been bits and bobs of work around me, either stuff that I've been doing or Ashleen or others, and all of the materials I've seen have been sourced locally, either by myself or even on major development projects. The materials were sourced locally. So that's my experience. That doesn't mean your experience or your opinion's wrong. It's just not something I've come across. Right, I think that is where we have to leave it on the programme today. Caroline, where are we again tomorrow, just to make sure I say it? The Finn Valley College? Yeah, we're at Finn Valley College tomorrow. They're launching a new album. We're going to be doing our usual show, the Friday panel, etc. But we'll also be getting some music and poetry from staff and pupils and looking forward to it. So tune in for that if you can. And why couldn't you? But